So Cavaliers would have called right. They won the toss, elected to bat. Taylor is on strike. First delivery outside the off stump. White call, the signal. Raja Jr. is accompanying Taylor. This time he covers up and plays it back along the track on the onside. Single. Taylor gets off the mark. Scores on to 2. And the NDCC comes up against the Cavalier 22 yards. And I just want to welcome back Lenny Archibald.
Thank you, Ivor Henry. You're looking at Cavaliers 22 yards. They've played unbeaten in the tournament so far. They've brought out Stephen Taylor and Ramiz Raja Jr. They have had an impressive run in the tournament so far, and they'll be hoping that this continues as we certainly head on to the playoff stage. And so Navneet Tiwari, the man with ball in hand, will come into bowl to Ramiz Raja Jr., who is going to pull through the onside. And a big appeal. Looks very close from here. But in the end, not out says the umpire. 2 for no loss.
Yeah, too much of a swing going down the leg side. It's a big swing, big inducker, and hitting pretty high as well. That would have gone way over the stumps. So good call there by umpire Jermaine Lindo.
So Cavaliers 22 yards. They've come here again with another big team. Over time, Somerset Cavaliers, the brand, has really brought some top level team to the US Open. Ramiz Raja, he gets off the mark with an easy single and brings Stephen Taylor. Certainly no introduction to US cricket and what he's done over the years, Ivor Henry.
Yes, our own local boy Stephen Taylor here would have started cricket before his eyes would have reached the top of his pads. He started very early. He started in the home just shadowing cricket, and he's all of our boys. Every single cricketer would have bowled to him when he was a youngster.
So he settles and waits for Navneet Tiwari, and Tiwari, it's a good delivery. Oh, he beats the man, a short backward square, and Stephen Taylor will have to say thank you very much. That one goes away for 4.
Early Christmas gift, yes. It went straight to him. He was up in the circle in the short fine leg area, and he got down and he went through his legs like a strainer.
So Stephen Taylor benefiting from a sort of like a generous bit of field here. Let's take a look at that. Look at that ball angling down the leg side. Just a forearm flick, and there he goes through the man in the ring. And he races away for 4. So Taylor on 5. Oh, that's a better shot. Slice through the offside with all the grace in the world, and it goes away for 4. Lovely shot from Stephen Taylor.
Yes, so back-to-back boundaries here for the young man, Stephen Taylor, former U.S. national captain and presently a member. So we should be seeing him here shortly. And the U.S. comes up against Ireland. So that's coming up this month, as a matter of fact. So Stephen Taylor, no stranger to this track. He's showing his ways.
So Taylor in this series has scored 28 and 42, so that alone tells you he's gotten start. And he's certainly contributed very well to the Cavaliers' 22 yards campaign. This one eludes the keeper down the leg size, 5 wides.
Yes, indeed. Good call there, Lenny. Good eye. And that one would have beaten Taylor, beaten the wicket keeper, and goes straight across the boundary rope. It was always going away from Taylor. So it was badly lined there by Tiwari. He's got to reload and come again. Well, I want to say good evening to Stephen Taylor's father, Sylvan Taylor, who is viewing to the east of us here in one of those pavilions, along with Fillmore Smith.
So, Ivor Henry, we've made a point so many times. There are at least 3 disadvantages of bowling a ball down the leg side. We'll talk about that. Tiwari runs into Taylor. And Taylor is on driving. Look at that. An elegant looking shot running up towards the mid-wicket boundary. And in the end, the ball wins the game. So that goes away for 4. 20 off this over. Taylor goes quickly up to 13.
Yes, lucky 13 for Taylor. That's a good looking stroke right off the pads. And he just flicked it right off his toes. Badly lined again. That one coming from round the wicket, going angling down. And Taylor just had to get some willow onto that. And nicely played. And again, I want to say Ernest Wallace also looking on, cheering on the Cavaliers 22 yards. more so Stephen Taylor, local boy here in South Florida. At some stage, we are going to be giving you one or two commercials.
So Abhiram, it appears, has been given the ball. And we come into ball to Ramiz Raja Jr., popular name in terms of international cricket. Ramiz Raja. So quick start here from Cavaliers, 22 yards. And the Cavaliers brand, Somerset Cavaliers, have done exceedingly well over the years in the US Open.
Yes, indeed. we made fun of this name, Vali Samigawi. He said he stopped up some 13 letters of the 26 alphabet. It's only 26 letters, and his parents would have said, youngster, we're going to give you half of that.
So Somerset Cavaliers, that brand would have won in 2017. They won in 2019 and would have been in the final of 2018. So they're hunting for goal again. And so far they have done well. Perfect record is Ramiz Raja on strike. He guides this one away over the third man area. And with all the ease in the world, more runs there for Cavaliers. They go up to 24.
Yeah, it was one pitch outside the line of the off stump going away. Slip was in place. There's no third man. He just had to get some willow in it, get it over the infield, and the way she goes downhill. Field seemed to be very fast here at this day of the day, at this hour of the day.
And the fact is, Ivor Henry Cavaliers, Somerset Cavaliers have always been a very strong unit. And the fact is, they've merged with 22 yards, another top-level team from the DC area. So you can imagine the strength that Cavaliers 22 yards certainly comes with.
Yes, well, George goes on 5. He's stroking this one nicely off his pad, but can't score. Goes straight to the middle, and he got there in a hurry. And nicely fielded, unlike one we would have seen went through the legs.
And also the thing is about Cavaliers and 22 yards, they come with very good leadership. Najaf Shah is at the helm here, and Najaf Shah is no stranger to US Open cricket. In fact, he has won this thing being the captain more than any other player, and we went through that earlier on today. This one is into the offside, runs there for Ramiz Raja, and they'll come back for a couple of runs. So he, along with Stephen Taylor, has gotten off to a very good start, and look at that, 26 in just the second over.
Yes, indeed. That was a good-looking shot. He just opened the face and guided it down to the third man that's placed there. He's wide, but can prevent two. Stephen Taylor has yet to face in this over. He's on 13, just from 4 deliveries.
And the big threat in this group certainly is US All-Stars. And the big threat in this group is US All-Star, a big player to miss. Well, in fact, he's driving straight back to Abhiram. And another single here for Cavaliers, 22 yards. They're up to 27. They're up to a quick start here, Ivor.
Yes, of course. The current run rate has gone to 16.2. So in the partnership of some 27. So they're going to set a target, and they're going to probably try to bat the NDCC MACE Royals out of this game. But who knows? The NDCC would have won the toss and inserted Cavaliers 22 yards. So they are in search of either bowling them out or keeping them to a minimum, one in which they would think they can overhaul.
So North Dallas Cricket Club. And yesterday I was asking Vinod, I asked him what's the meaning of NDCC, and he told me the NDCC stands for Never Defeated Cricket Club.
Oh, glorious.
Through the offside. We'll not get a boundary, but we'll get a single good-looking shot from Stephen Taylor.
Good flowing drive there all along the ground, but he can only get one for it. But he gets off the lucky 13, goes on to 14 from 5. But that was a good-looking shot. And left-handers always look elegant, especially when they're playing that cover drive.
So the Group A teams, of course, include Cavaliers, 22 yards. US All-Stars is another team that have done well. And, of course, North Dallas Cricket Club, the team playing here. And then, of course, we saw Yankee Royals and Brampton Pacers during the course of the week. But what essentially this group is all about, it's all about Cavaliers 22 yards and US All-Stars, no doubt. And both teams have done well. We saw the other night or the other day, Cavaliers 22 yards getting the better of US All-Stars. So that'll probably count later on as we head to the knockout stage when it comes down to net run rate or a head-to-head win or loss?
Yes, well, just 8 runs coming from that over, so relatively decent over. We're still in the power play. All of 6 overs had to be realized before they can put no more than 5 fielders beyond the 30-yard circle. Good evening again to Mr. Peter Nero over there in Trinidad and Tobago. He's viewing this match. There's no cricketer have more videos than Peter Nero.
Yeah, we've seen from time to time many of the Caribbean umpires coming over here to train local umpires. Peter Nero has done some training work with the U.S. crew. And not too long ago, Ivor Henry, we've seen the services of Leslie Reefer Jr., a man on the CPL circuit as an umpire. We've also seen Tuckett out of St. Kitts, I think.
Nevis.
So ball guided away into the offside, and they come through for an easy single. Taylor continues to bat well. You look at the scorecard, there's 29 without loss.
Yes, indeed. Carl Tuckett, umpire hails out of Nevis. His son, Carl Tuckett Jr., plays cricket too. So it's in the blood. And like I was saying with Peter Nero as an umpire, yes, he was one that really performed the training during the minor league here for the umpires that participated in the first minor league series here in these United States. So, good evening, sir.
So, day and night encounter here. Cavaliers 22-yard takes on North Dallas Cricket Club. With the news, Cavaliers 22 yards winning the toss. They want to put up a big score. Oh, slashing shot through the offside, cover drive. And it goes away for another boundary, this time off the bat of Ramiz Raja Jr. And that's all class.
Yeah, it seemed more of a square-driven shot. All class. All class. I don't think any grass is going to go in the path of the way that ball would have traveled. Beautifully done. Look at it. And it's spread across that quick outfield. The man only ran all the way just to retrieve. Good-looking shot.
So this facility certainly, with a shot like that, it really brings out the beauty of the ground. Really beautiful facility here in Broward County. Ball this time going down the leg side, called a wide.
Yeah, but beautifully taken there by the wicketkeeper. Looking good, looking good. I'm telling you, he's putting the dive, going down the leg side, and that looks good. Wicketkeeping has been of a high standard here, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the man up. Porva Vartak. He's a quality keeper. And the boys, NDCC, getting a chance to play in front of a televised audience.
And to play in an approved ICC venue.
And they come up against a very strong team in Cavaliers. 22 yards. Flicked away over the onside. More runs there for Ramiz Raja Jr. And that's another lovely shot to watch. What a treat we're getting here tonight.
Yes, Raja looks the part. I'm telling you, just a flick of the wrist. Look at it on the replay. Outside the off stump, made room, got in the proper position, and you know you're up in the power play. So I want you to get it over the infield, force you out.
So they're going over 15 runs and over. And that is exactly what they wanted when they won the toss, Ivor, and decided to bat.
Yes, and it's a chance for them to really get amongst the net run rate as well, if needs be, to pile on the runs and try to bowl your opponent out cheaply.
So Ramiz Raja, a couple of quality shots in this over so far. This one sliding down the leg side. Question asked. Not outside is umpire Jermaine Lindo. And Jermaine Lindo would have been one of the newest umpires to have officiated in international games. ODI under his belt, T20 International. Would have just returned from Mexico, in which he would have been part of the women's regional qualifier in that country.
Yes. Congratulations to the young man. But Tiwari has been very, very expensive. He's in his second over and he has gone for some 30 already. Down the leg side, and Stephen is whipping this one off his leg. There's a man down there not going to be in contention to pick up the catch. He just eluded him and went one bounce for.
Yeah, this is not looking good for NDCC, but Stephen Taylor on the charge. Ball going down the leg side and a big flick. He knows we're still in the power plays and he knows where the two fielders are. And he's a wonderful player, a full 360 player. He has shots all around the cricket field. And Stephen Taylor looking good here tonight.
Well, the Cavaliers, they hold the record for 93 runs in the power play. And Stephen Taylor was a part of that. They might want to replicate that.
So 15 runs in this over so far. In fact, that has come to an end. And so after 3, Cavaliers 22 yards. They're off to a rapid start. And after 3, they're batting at 43 without loss.
Which is indeed the latest score here at the Central Broward Regional Stadium.
Come to the tea.
Yes, I think it's time so we can get a cup of tea. And here it is, the Mad Hatter.
Here is not that bad with tea.
Mad Hatter tea and the coffee, I may add.
I will go.
Well, too, are we? No,
I
his
think
finish is over. He has
that is
gone.
Abiram.
Yeah, he has gone for 34. So we have a new bowler on.
So Abiram, he makes a good start, considering what has happened here. Ivor Henry runs 13.5 is the current run rate. And bowling dot balls here, maybe quite scarce, or maybe it's a good thing at this point.
Yes, indeed. We are on the lights here at the stadium, so it might look nice and bright. But in the background, you can see that darkness. That means we are on the lights here at the Central Broward Regional Park. He's charging, and nicely stopped there by the bowler. He was coming after him. He was trying to get it over him and over the mid-off. He would have been in business.
So Ramiz Raja Jr. comes out from the Texas area. And this is a man who has made his business of plying his trade across the United States. And so don't be surprised while he lives in Texas, tournament in any part of the country. Ramiz Raja just shows up with his presence, and so does Stephen Taylor. And the two have given Cavaliers 22 yards, a rapid start. Look at that, 44 without loss. And we're still into the power play, so you can imagine. And with a powerful batting lineup with Hemraj to come, and I dare say made a bold prediction. If there's a man who's probably going to score 100 in this tournament, you'll have to watch Chandrapal Hemraj. He's in ripping form at the moment, and he scores very quickly. I'm surprised he didn't bat at 1 or 2 today, but he's to come.
He opened with Taylor when they would have had that record 93-1 partnership in the power play.
So Taylor on strike. He's played a couple of big shots already. Look at that, straight down the ground. And that will race away. Fielder will just have to run after the white ball and in under our come box. And that's a lovely shot from Stephen Taylor. We'll have a look at that replay.
Yes, straight down the ground, as straight as they come. And the bowler, the fielder never gave up on it. He ran all the way. It seems a little comical because he was off balance getting there. We haven't seen the replay. But if you were to look at the replay, you'll see he was pretty much off balance, trying to perhaps put in the dive, which would have been in vain because that was sweetly timed by Stephen Taylor. 23 from 9.
Certainly, and I think one of the problems with that camera angle, that happened just in front on the com box and certainly in front of the side screen, so it might have been blinded by the side screen. Taylor continues to bat fluently well. And this time a dot ball. We've seen 5 runs in the over so far. Now look at that. Taylor on 23. Ramiz Raja on 17. Cavaliers 22 yards. I think the captain would have smiled in his heart when the toss came up correct, because they know they wanted to put on a very big score here and certainly up their NRR.
Yes, we've seen the first double 100, so they might want to emulate that. And Stephen Taylor is knocked. His stump has knocked back the off stump. And I'm saying here, Valis Amigari has been bowling beautifully. And Stephen Taylor has got to go. Well played, 23. He's done and dusted.
Yeah, that's a very good delivery, pitched off stump and just held its line. And Stephen Taylor trying to go through the offside. He loses his wicket, and so the big blow for 22 yards. Comes in at the end of over number 4. Stephen Taylor gone as Xavier Marshall walks to the middle with 96 balls still to be bowled.
Yes, that was a good delivery there. One started outside the off stump and coming back in, and Taylor guilty of not going across, and he just had a waff at it. And I'm sure he was surprised when he heard timber behind him. But all in all, it's a very, very, very good delivery. These guys were on the charge, 48 for 1. And to get the big wicket of Stephen Taylor, the young man must be feeling pretty good.
So Xavier Marshall comes to the middle. Has not had a very good series so far. A couple of matches, 1 each. And so if he scores 2 runs today in 2 matches, that'll be his highest score in the series so far. So he's been, he will need some runs. But we're watching Ramiz Raja Jr. on strike. He has batted very impressive so far. It's 48 for 1. And as in the case of Xavier Marshall, he is one of the few players around the world that would have played international cricket for 2 different countries. Of course, he would have represented the West Indies, and then, of course, has debuted for the United States.
Yes, indeed. I'm sure we'll be seeing him along with Mr. Taylor here a little later. I think on the 23rd, I think that's when they would play their first match against Ireland, 23rd.
So bowling change, Rakesh Jidam. Oh, ball eludes the keeper down the leg side. And we could see another 5 wide. So second time we've seen 5 wide. So ball heading down the leg side, keeper had no chance.
That was a poor delivery. Started down the leg side and going still further down the leg side. The wicketkeeper did well to get around there, but he just couldn't manage to hold on. That was a poor delivery.
So the 50 comes up here for Cavaliers, 22 yards. And it comes up because we've seen 5 extras off the bowling of Gidam, Rakesh Kumar Gidam. And he runs in again to bowl to Ramiz Raja Jr. And this time a better ball, but outside the off stump. Couple of runs there for Ramiz Raja. And they come back for 2. So the runs keep coming here for Cavaliers, 22 yards, Ivor.
Yes, he was wide of the mark there, but he stretched and got some will on it. Would have come off the bottom portion of the bat. Was not sweetly timed. We would have seen one earlier in his innings, a nice career-driven stroke, but this time he got only 2 for that effort.
Oh, down the left side, flicked away, and more runs there for Ramiz Raja.
That is class. He was badly lined again into the legs of the young man, so he shows that he can score on both sides of the wicket, and that's danger for the MACE Royals. When a batter can score on both sides of the wicket, you are going to be in deep trouble.
Yes, Ivor, you're right on that. And the higher you go and the upper level that you play, you only have fraction to play with in terms of your skill. And if you bowl on the off, Ramiz Raja has played some lovely shot through the offside. If you bowl on the middle of the stump, he's going to flick you away. So as a bowler, it's going to be a tough proposition here. He's a quality player. And so far, look at that. He's gone up to 23 from just 15 balls.
Yes, well, Gidam comes in again, bowls to him. And he's tonguing this one here, and he's going to go beyond the boundary rope for a maximum.
Well, the umpire signaled 4.
Oh, 4, my word. I thought he had the height, never the distance, but he just tugged that one from outside the off stump. And let's have a look, let's have a look. Just inside. Yes, good eye there, umpire Lindo.
So Ramiz Raja scoring quickly here. 15 runs in this over so far from Rakesh. This over has certainly not gone well. And the runs keep coming here for Cavaliers, 22 yards. They've had a very good tournament so far.
Down the leg side again, wide, and the majority of runs keep coming from the northern end.
Well, we've seen 14 extras so far. We've seen 13 wides, 1 leg by, so not good here for NDCC MACE Royals. And they've struggled to keep their line. And we'll come into bowl to Ramiz Raja. 16 runs in this over so far. Ball played up towards the offside. Protection is out there. And so 65.
Yes, Raja is going at everything. That was wide of the mark. But look at the bowler. He runs maybe a 15-yard run, and he runs with the ball in his left hand. And just before he reaches the umpire, he changes it over to his right hand, to his bowling arm.
Courtney Walsh. Courtney Walsh does that.
Yes. So
let's take a look. Yeah, here we go. Look. Runs up with the left hand and now changes the ball. Courtney Walsh.
Yes, so I guess maybe he's telling the batsman, you look at the ball in my left hand. Maybe I'm going to trick you. You think I'm going to bowl it with my left hand? And at the last moment, as soon as he passes the umpire, he switches over.
So 17 off the over so far.
But let me ask you a question. Do you think that is in the coach's manual? How does he know where to grip it when he changes it over so far?
According to Courtney,
the seam position.
According to Courtney Walsh, he worked. Didn't Courtney Walsh has about 400 test wicket or even further than that? So if it has worked for that man, why not? So that's the end of 5. And at the end of 5, Cavaliers off to a quick start. Cavaliers 22 yards. They're up to 65 for 1.
And that's where we will leave you here in the capable hands of the Doc and Sasha.
MAQ Group is a real estate investment company. Our goal at MAQ Group is to provide you with the expertise and service you need to do business in today's complex market. More information visit maqgroup.com.
And we're back. So scores are 66 for 1. And Velissa Magari back into the attack. He's currently 1 for 13 off his 2 overs. And Xavier Marshall 1 for 2. Ramiz Raja Jr. 28 off 17. And partnership building 18 so far. And let's just see a replay of that first ball. And umpire not signalling a wide. He's happy that Velissa Magari has got that one just right. And ball number 2, again just left by Marshall. They've scored big so far, 66 off 1.
Yeah, they started off quite well in 4 overs. They were 53 for 1. And the way Stephen Taylor was going, it seemed like we were going to be seeing another huge score like the previous match, Sasha.
Yeah, you're right. As I'm sure the previous 2 have mentioned, the Cavaliers are the record holders for the largest partnership in the power play, as Velissa Magari comes in for ball number 3 of the over and throw at the stumps, but a miss, and the Cavaliers scamper through for a single. They move on to 67 for 1 off 5.3 overs. And as you were saying before, they're going at a pretty hefty rate. They were looking at scoring big, and 67 is big, but not quite as big as before.
No, the previous match was something else. The massive hits we saw from the left-hander towards the onside was quite a sight. As we see the next delivery here, and he hoists it over the empty space in the no man's land in the mid-wicket area, and they come back for a second run.
Yeah, that was nicely weighted. He would have wanted to get a little bit more on the ball, but as a reminder to anyone watching who hasn't been watching the previous days, we're currently playing on pitch number 2, which means that the boundary on the leg side of Raja Jr. is further away than it would have been previously, and so...
In addition to the fact that it's a different pitch, Sasha, we'll talk more about the lights after this delivery.
Here comes Velissa Magari, and that is caught. Is that caught? Sight screen's just restricting my view. I think it is.
Yeah, it went straight to him. He dove to his right, and it was a nice athletic catch to dismiss Ramiz Raja, who seemed to be in good nick.
Yeah, you're right. 30 off 19 or 30 off 20 now. And here we go. Oh, that's a lovely catch. Diving forward, as you said. And you can see the celebrations from the bowler, Valisa Magari. He is thrilled to get the danger man out here. And Cavaliers, 22 yards. 69 for 2 after 5.5 overs. Still one more ball of the power play to go. And there you go. You can see Valisa Magari pumping his arms in delight.
And Abhiram grabs both the wickets that have fallen so far, and that will do his confidence a world of good as he will continue to bowl from the commentator's end. Now, what I was alluding to earlier was the conditions, playing during the day and now in the evening under lights, with the possibility of the dew factor coming into play. That's going to add another dimension to the game as well, isn't it, Sasha?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It means the pitch is slightly heavier in the outfield, so balls that would have raced away earlier in the day might just be a little bit slower. It also means that towels are being worn by certain fielders because the ball just gets a little bit wetter when it touches the ground.
Milind Kumar joins Xavier Marshall. Xavier Marshall, the former West Indies batsman, played 7 test matches for the country. Milind will take his guard and face Abhiram Valisa Magari. How interesting has it been for you to pronounce these interesting last names from India?
It's definitely been a challenge at times, but we managed to get Valisa Magari pretty early on, and now it's just a walk in the park saying his lovely name.
It flows quite well, just like his action.
It does. And that is his last ball of his third over, last ball of the power play. And the Cavaliers, 22 yards, move on to, well, stay at 69 for 2 after the power play.
Yeah, Xavier Marshall brings a lot of experience for the team, doesn't he? Because having played for the national team in the West Indies, he would not only be making himself better as he continues to play here in these tournaments, but people around him would gain a lot of experience, hearing stories and him giving tips to these youngsters who are playing at the US Open.
Yeah, you're right. It's great to see lots of experienced and big names in this tournament, but also really nice to introduce some new younger players. And a tournament like this is really lovely for these players to get out into the world of cricket, get their names out there for any scouts watching, and let the world know who they are.
Exactly, and I think the whole idea for a lot of these players is to come in, be around players with a lot of experience and get some tips as they continue to enhance their individual careers. As we see Xavier Marshall get set for a new over, and he drives firmly on the offside and picks up an easy single.
Partnership now of that one from Marshall. The loss of their last wicket is going to maybe slow the always struggling with this. The run rate down just a tiny bit, but they're going at a good rate at the moment. And Milind Kumar will be facing up to Rakesh Kumar Gadam. Here we go. And he just places that nicely down, and that is going to run away for 4.
He found the gap nicely, Sasha, between a deep point and deep gully, if you will, and guided the ball to wideish third man for 4 runs. Yeah. As the score now goes up to 74 for 2 for the Cavaliers from Somerset.
Yeah, that was a really nicely placed shot there, and he didn't have to do a lot to it. There was lots of pace on the ball from Gadam, and he managed to get 4 runs from it.
Slight change in the field as the fielder from deep point now comes closer, just outside the circle, and the man at short third man is now headed towards the boundary ropes, just inside, about maybe 10 feet inside.
Just where the last ball was placed. And here comes Gadam. And that ball is driven onto the
Xavier Marshall batting on 3, Milind Kumar on 5. We had a little bit of a mishap in the comm box, that's why there was some silence.
apologies for that. Just had a slight shock through the microphone.
My co-commentator got a mild electric jab, and I was looking at Sasha, and
Took me by surprise there.
Sasha, I said, but now Sasha seems to be okay.
All good.
And
Revived again.
her smile is back on.
Revived
so,
again. And that was a lovely shot there by Marshall.
So if we did not describe Mr. Marshall's heroics for a brief moment, we had a good reason for it, Sasha.
Yes, I do apologise for that, but all is well again, and we are back. Marshall 7 from 7, and he is facing Gadam here.
And this time Marshall just defends, pushes it back to the bowler. You know, Marshall's highest score in one-day internationals playing for the US, 157. 157.
Not
That's
too bad.
Yeah, so he has a lot of experience under his belt playing ODIs, T20s, and he's also played 7 test matches for the West Indies. As we see the next delivery, Marshall facing right arm over the wicket, and this time it was a delivery that ought to be a wide almost, but was not called a wide, as Marshall slashed at it but was not able to get the result that he would have wanted. And that is the end of the over. 7 overs completed, 80 for 2, Marshall batting on 7, Milind Kumar batting on 5.
Listen, Magari with ball in hand, ready to go in the 8th over, and this will be his last over. He's bowled tightly so far, 2 for 16. He'll be looking for another wicket here to slow the Cavaliers down.
Bowling his 3rd over now, and he tucks it to short mid-wicket and takes a quick single as he moves on to 8. Xavier Marshall, Milind Kumar on 5, 81 for 2 after 7.1 overs. The first 4 overs fetched them 53 runs, and the last 3 overs, the pace of scoring has certainly dropped significantly as Abhiram has clamped them down. And this time it's on the leg stump as he pushes it to deep mid-on, and they were able to get 1 run as the score moves on to 82 for 2. Marshall on 7, Milind Kumar on 6.
Bliss Magari's been really tight, as we mentioned before. Just letting a few singles go in this over, and he won't be too worried by that. It's the boundaries that will worry the bowlers. Cavaliers going at a good rate though, over 11. And if they continue like this, a big score is going to go on the board.
And this time it was down the leg side and runs away for 4 byes.
No, not byes. Looks like the umpire is signalling that he may have got a glove or a bat to it.
Mr. Marshall will not be complaining about that.
Not at all. The bowler, however, will be.
Absolutely, yes. What's been the past score for the night matches, Sasha? Is it close to 160, 170-ish?
Yeah, exactly that. It's not been as much as we saw in the last game, which was the first 200 we saw this tournament. But As I said before, if the Cavaliers keep going at the rate they're going, they're looking to get close to that.
But I think that getting to 200 would be a tall order from what we see at the present time.
Yeah, the conditions do get slightly harder as we go further into the evening. As we've mentioned before, the dew does start to play a factor, and the outfield does get a little bit heavier.
But it's been a day where we've watched 3 matches. Initially, the Scorpions won by 50 runs. The Brampton Pacers beat the Yankees, as we see Melissa McGarry bowling, and he drives straight to point, and is that carried straight to the fielder for a catch,
It has
Sasha?
indeed. Yeah, that was a lovely catch. It came to him really quickly, and he didn't look particularly bothered by that. It pretty much came straight into his hands, didn't have to move, and Milan Kumar goes for 6.
It happened so quickly that for a moment I thought that the ball went past the bowler. Then I saw him throwing it up in the air in celebration to dismiss Milan Kumar.
Yeah, and as we were saying, their current run rate is looking pretty healthy, but a wicket that we've just seen is going to slow that down again. And here's a replay. That's a lovely catch. Looked like it hurt him a little bit. As we said before, it was coming pretty swiftly at him, but good take in the end. As we mentioned before, with a little bit of dew and a little bit of wetness out there, catches like that can sometimes be dropped, and the fielder did really well to take that. And another wicket goes to Melissa McGarry. 3 wickets for the Cavaliers and 3 to Melissa McGarry, and he's got 1 ball left to bowl in this innings.
You know, we had seen that 5-4 in the match previously, and we talked about how rare it is. And look at Abhiram already grabbing 3 wickets with this is last over, so only 1 more ball. So he's not going to be a 5-4, but I think a tremendous performance by the young man.
Yeah, the Cavaliers have been a really strong team, the one to beat. And Melissa McGarry will be thrilled that he's managed to get 3 of their top-end batsmen out. And as you say, here he comes for his last ball of the innings, last ball of his 4 overs. And Aaron Jones here just stretching out, getting ready to face Melissa McGarry.
Aaron Jones, of course, no stranger to the game, very experienced. Facing the last delivery of this over. And it was hit to mid-on, and they should be coming back for the second run, and they will.
Yeah, good running there. Easy 2, but we've seen previously that sometimes an easy 2 is just an ambling 1. But Cavaliers are not going to let those kind of runs go to waste. And at the end of the 8th over, the Cavaliers are 89 for 3. Melissa McGarry finishes his 4 overs, 3 wickets and 24 runs. So Cavaliers pushing forward, but Mace Royals making sure that they don't get too far ahead at this particular moment.
89 for 3, 8 overs. I reckon this is going to be a score in the 150-160 range, Sasha.
Okay, we heard it here first. I think if these guys continue...
It just seems, I don't know why, but you tend to disagree on that.
Well, I'm thinking at the moment they're going to get a little bit more, but as you said, the conditions do differ from the day matches, and it might be that you are exactly on the money.
So Xavier Marshall and Aaron Jones at the crease. Xavier Marshall, the former West Indies batsman, born to Jamaican parents, and Aaron Jones, born in the US in Queens, New York, to parents from Barbados.
And here comes Ali Sheikh. Good ball to start the over. Marshall just blocks it out there. And Cavaliers stay on 89 for 3.
Ali Sheikh, left arm around the wicket. No run, straight to the fielder. This is an important pair, Sasha, for the Cavaliers to ramp it up in terms of their scoring the middle overs are so important, aren't they?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And at the moment, Ali Sheikh is keeping it tight. Just the single from that, and it brings the Cavaliers up into the 90s. But Ali Sheikh won't be worried with the singles, as we've mentioned previously. It's the boundaries that cause issues for the fielders and for the bowlers. So let's see if he can continue with this tight over. Just the one from his first 3 deliveries. 90 for 3, the Cavaliers, with the Mace Royals bowling. And he pushes it onto the offside.
He's trying to find the gap between point and extra cover, but there's a fielder at deep point on the boundary, and he's making him play in that region. This time it's more on the leg stump, and he pushes it to mid-on, and they run for a single.
Yeah, this is lovely bowling from Ali Sheikh, really limiting what these batters can do with the ball here. Just 2 from it, and 1 more delivery to go. Cavaliers 91 for 3 with Xavier Marshall on strike now. He's 13 off 15. Let's see what he can do to finish off this over. And not a huge amount. This is a really good over from Ali Sheikh. Just the 2 from it. That's really impressive at this stage, isn't it?
It absolutely is. At the end of 9 overs, 91 for 3. And Marshall and Jones having a mid-pitch conference, probably trying to figure out what their next step is going to be in terms of accelerating the rate of scoring. 11 overs to go, and 91 for 3. They must have a plan now, which they'll try and execute. Both extremely experienced batsmen, obviously. It's Sandeep Shivaram.
So we continue with spin. And it'll be interesting to see how he follows on from that really tight over. Is that going to pile on the pressures for the batters? Do you think they're going to play some maybe slightly loose shot and give Shivaram the wicket? And here we go. Ball number 1 of the 10th over. And no runs from it.
Any dot ball that a bowler delivers is a win for that particular bowler, isn't it? So it's these small victories that you make. Next delivery, left arm around the wicket, and this time he plays it to short third man, no run. So 2 dot balls, the pressure mounts.
It does indeed. Aaron Jones on strike. Partnership of just 4 since the last wicket. These bowlers have been really tight.
They again had a mid-pitch conference to exchange a few words again to see what the plan should be as Marshall gets ready. I apologize, Jones. And this time he pushes it to extra cover, and they take a single. And the score moves on to 92 for 3. Marshall 13 and Jones batting at 4.
Yeah, these spinners have been brilliant at this middle stage of the game. And here we go, ball number 4. And again, a dot. This is brilliant. This is fantastic from the NDCC MACE Royals. And you found out earlier what NDCC stands for.
Yeah, I mean, I would ask you to say that 5 times fast, NDCC.
It's really tongue-twisting there.
North Dallas Cricket Club, we found out. There are also other cricket clubs in Dallas also. That's why they named their team as the NDCC. But as you said, Sandeep Shivaram has been quite brilliant in this first over of his, as he bowls left arm around the wicket to Xavier Marshall, who punches it on the offside straight to the fielder without any runs, which ends the 10th over of the match with Cavaliers at 92 for 3, Marshall batting at 13, Jones batting at 4.
And at the midway stage, we're going to take a double swap in the comms box. We will see you shortly.
MAQ Group is a real estate investment company. Our goal at MAQ Group is to provide you with the expertise and service you need to do business in today's complex market. More information, visit maqgroup.com.
So we're back live, and this is struck away way beyond the mid-wicket boundary for 6. So that's a massive hit there by Aaron Jones. And the man bringing luck to the Cavaliers, Prahalad Marubishi, the man from Tampa, sorry. He's, you know, everyone wants to be from Orlando, and the man corrects me. He says Tampa. Yes, very hard-working official of Cricket Council USA out there in Tampa. They tell me he is Mr. Cricket in Tampa, and of course he's a wonderful singer of Bollywood songs. We'll get a few notes tonight. It says forced away through the offside. They take 1, and they're going to come back for 2, and that's the century. So Xavier Marshall is on 13, Andrew Jones 12, Ali Sheikh none for 10.
Ali Sheikh bowled a good first over, and they're trying to, make up for the lost runs in the last 2 overs. Both the spinners kept intact a little.
So it's in the air. He should be out caught. Yes, he is.
Yes.
It stopped on him. He committed early there, Aaron Jones, the USA batsman, and it spoons the cover. That's a catch taken by Valisa Magari, and the score is now 100 for the loss of 3.
Yeah, I mean, Abhi Valisamagari, the guy who took all the 3 wickets, has a part in the 4th wicket as well. He bowled a great spell, 4 overs, I think 24 for 3. He took the catch, and you can see that the MACE Royals are slowly tightening the screws, even though they got a great start. It's 4 wickets down. They still have a great start, and so they need to regroup and get a par score. The par score here, it seems like it's about 160, 170. So they need to settle down and then put up a good score.
Yeah, the par could be around 160, 170. You're quite right. The pitch, though, it has been excellent. I want to tip my hat. If I had on one, I would have tipped it to Milton Taylor, the head curator here at the Central Broad Regional Park. We've had 3 games on the pitch to the extreme right. 3 days of cricket, which is 9 matches, and this is the 2nd day on the middle strip. So this is the 6th game. Tomorrow we play on the middle again, and then we switch to the end, the extreme left for the knockout phase. So it's 100 for 4, the Cavaliers. This is swept away around the corner. Rakesh is there. So tell me a bit about the Cavaliers team. Are they from your neck of the woods?
Somerset Cavaliers, they're more from the north. This team is a combination of Cavaliers and 22 yards, and they keep winning all the time. Almost in the last 3-4 years, I believe they won twice. Tigers also played against them. They have a good team. Wasn't this the same team who had a great start a couple days ago when they scored 90 runs in the first 6 overs?
Yes, the Cavaliers, they are a very strong team. Xavier Marshall is there. He's yet to really hit the straps, so to speak, in this tournament. And this time, this is out of here. He has struck that a mile. The Jamaican has hit that close to Montego Bay. And that's 6 runs, 106 for 4.
Almost 100 meters. It fell in the stands.
A massive hit. On that occasion, Shivaram overpitched, and he was down the ground. It was just a matter of playing through the line. This time he drives uppishly. He will get 1. So Xavier Marshall has decided to go and to go into overdrive, so to speak. And it's happy driving for him.
He saw both the bowlers for an over and kind of figured out their length, and so now he's going for it.
I want to say a very special good evening to my family. They are in Trinidad and Tobago. Normally they are here. Prahlad, that was the first question you asked me today. Where are they? Pushed away on the offside, but they are in Trinidad and Tobago, unfortunately. because of the fact that my son Liam, as you know him, he normally is here, but he had exams, and with the tournament being brought forward, it clashed with that. Also, the Youth US Open will now be played in May next year, I believe. So that is a situation where that kept them away. My wife, though, Nadine, she was here for a couple of days. Sufyan Kamar couldn't believe when she told him that she would not be here for the US Open. And I want to say a special good evening to my younger son, Aidan. The man is a serious man. He's a singer, and also is a young businessman to be. So I want to say good evening to them. They are going out to the north of the island for sushi. And I'm here in Central Broad Regional Park. So good evening to them. And I just want to let them know that my thoughts are with them. And of course, I wish I was there to enjoy that food.
I'm sure you're missing your son, Liam, who is actually a very good cricket player, upcoming cricket player. And, you know, US Open happening here with all the international stars and the quality of cricket being played here. He would have really enjoyed participating in this tournament.
Yeah, but speaking about that, though, I think there is a President's Cup coming up in Tampa. Who knows? You may see him there. You never know.
He would be welcome. We are planning on hosting a President's Cup. We did it as part of CCUSA's MCL League. We hosted President's Cup last year, which was a huge success. And quite a few teams uncovered their minor league players from that tournament. And we plan on continuing that.
This is down the ground, Pilard. Sorry about that. That's 2 bounces into the boundary for 4. So the X-Man is doing his thing. 115 for 4. You were saying
straight shot, good one. So we want to continue what we have started last year, and we plan on hosting President's Cup this year again during President's Day weekend. Teams are welcome to come and participate, and the quality of play typically is pretty good. Anything that CCUSA gets involved with, you tend to have it's organized well, and you tend to have good players come and play.
Yeah, that's a reputation of a Cricket Council USA. I mean, you look at the US Open and you will realize excuse me, you'll realize that over the years this tournament has been growing and growing. I was just telling my son on the phone of the quality. This time he is castled, is he? Or is there an appeal for stumping? We'll have to see that again. My good man there, Jeremy Alamo Milano, man with a lot of cars. He will be sending that replay. Excellent work there, Jeremy.
Looks like MACE Royals have pulled this game back a little bit. The game is even now. From where it started off.
Well, Prahlad, I may disagree with you there. 115 is a lot of runs in 12 overs. Yes, they've lost 4 wickets. If they can play proper cricket over the next 3 overs or so, keep wickets in hand, probably if they lose 1, they can still make your par score that you spoke about.
Yeah, so the par score is where, you know, both the teams have a shot at it. I mean, 200 is difficult to score, but 170, it would feel like both the teams have a chance there. So from where they were with 90 runs in 7 overs, if they restrict them to 160, 170, I would think that they would take that confidence back when they are batting.
Yeah, I want to say good evening to a dear friend of mine, Visham Shams Lalman. He's a Cricket 360 man and a Cricket Scope man. And, you know, he has been logged on. He's a big supporter of the US Open. He and his parents are looking on. That's Sahadeo Lalman, all the way in Rio Claro, Trinidad.
Nice.
Sahadeo Lalman and Lachman Lalman. I want to say good night to them, and I want to let them know that they must feel very proud of this young man, Visham Lalman. He's an excellent guy. He was well brought up. He's a very respectable child, and I expect personally great things from him in the media world. 116 for 4 is the
end of the 13th over. And Prahlad himself, last time I saw you, Prahlad, you were breaking about 4 blocks with your bare hands.
Yeah, as part of our taekwondo training, it is required that we have to do that to get our black belt.
Well, this peels off the outside edge down to short third man. It went quickly, prevents a single. So Prahlad is a black belt. So don't go messing with him. Also a good cricketer, singer. He's a talented guy. I enjoy your renditions with you and your wife. You know, I listen and, you know, you are Kishore Kumar and she's Lata Mangeshkar. It's 116 for 4. One day I might ask my wife to join me in singing, you know. I see myself as Kumar Sanhu.
Maybe we can do that in Tampa.
Yeah, I would tell her she should sing like Alka Yagnik. 116 for 4. This is the 14th over. What kind of ball is that?
Looks like the ball slipped out of his hand because it was really short. It almost pitched. You know,
I think he should check
halfway.
his toe. That was closer to him than the batsman. Let's have a look again.
Yeah.
That is what you call a donkey drop. Look at it.
Yeah, it is.
Smashed by Xavier Marshall. He's looking good here. 33. He is really starting to warm up here, Prahlad.
Yeah, I think he's turned on the next gear. They are on the 14th over, so their goal is to reach 200. So you can see that aggression in him.
Shot again. He's going for the shot. This time this one comes on to him quicker.
Right.
And he is lucky to still be there. Sims. Yes, he wears a right smile because he knew that Marshall would have gotten away there. Hamad Azam is now taking strike and he pulls this down the ground. Just one. Predict a final score here, Prahlad.
13.5 overs. I am predicting about 180 to 185.
180 to 185. Well, Ivor Henry a couple of days ago asked me to predict the score, and I told him it'll be the score at the end of 20 overs. So it's 124 for 4 after 14. Let's take a Mad Hatter's coffee break. Oh, that's a maximum, a US Open maximum. And getting into the act now is Azam. So they're firing well. Prahlad has predicted 180. Do I remember right?
Yeah, 180. But the way they are going, they are attacking the bowler on the very first ball. They hit a 6. That puts pressure on the bowler. But yeah, 10 runs in over felt was reasonable, but they already have 7 in 2 balls. So
the quality of the entertainment here has been tremendous. Today we had a first innings total posted in our first game of 186 by the Brampton Pacers. Then you had a first innings total posted by the second game that slips me now. That
Florida Scorpions.
Yes, the Scorpions 209, and these guys, they are heading towards that kind of first innings total here. So we're seeing a lot of runs today, Prahlad.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, the credit should go to the groundsman, because if you see, it assists a nice sweep shot and a good stop. It assists both. See, if you see the first 10 overs, you had Abhiram Valasamagiri, who was swinging the ball, pick up 3 wickets with his nice pace swing bowling, and it assists spinners also if you pitch it in the right spot. So the credit really goes to the groundsman for making a great sporting wicket. 2 dot balls and now a single.
Well, with the big shot coming off the very first delivery, this is a good comeback by the young man. And it's the end of over number 15. And to take you through to the end of this innings will be Lenny Archibald. And of course, with him normally comes Ivor Henry V.
MAQ Group is a real estate investment company. Our goal at MAQ Group is to provide you with the expertise and service you need to do business in today's complex market. More information, visit MAQgroup.com.
Well, a partnership of 34, we have... I have Sasha with me here at this time instead of Lenny, I guess, for a little bit.
Yeah,
Welcome, Sasha.
luck is on your side tonight.
Oh, yes, thank you. Well, 134 for 4. We have went to over number 16. Early in the day, NDCC we would have not won the toss. Cavaliers won the toss, and for change, the team winning the toss decided that they're going to take first knock.
Yeah, we've only seen that once, and that is bold. Xavier Marshall is bold, I think. He has been absolutely done there by Akari Sims in his second over. Let's watch that again. Here we go. That's a lovely ball. And you can see the delight on Sims' face as the stumps light up red, and Marshall has to head back to the sheds.
Yeah, he got an inside edge onto those sticks, and it was lights, camera, action. It was out of here. There it is. He dragged it right onto the stump, and then he's blaming his bat. What did he say? A bad workman blames his tool.
Exactly right. Looking at his bat in disbelief. It was doing so well for him before and has let him down this time. And Marshall leaves 36 off 36 deliveries, so strike rate of 100. Cavaliers have a run rate of 8.7 and are currently 134 for 5.
And Azam, 2, he's batting at 100, 11 from 11. And they started off well with Stephen Taylor going gung-ho. He was first to go. And then we would have seen halfway through the wickets, 5 of them has gone, but they only have another 4 overs and 4 balls to go. I'm not going to predict the score yet, but can I? Should I?
Yeah, go on, give it a go.
Give it a go.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. All right, they're going to make 165, 170s on the card.
Okay. I like the sound of that. That's probably the area I would have gone to as well. And at the moment, Cavaliers are 134 for 5. And just off topic quickly, England having a batting collapse as per usual. Looking like it will be ending on day 4 of the Ashes first test. You can hear the joy in my voice as I say that.
No, I can hear the cracking of your voice. I know Root should have rooted himself and made that 100. He would have worked hard for his 89, and Malan too would have gone in the 80s as well.
Yeah, 82 for Milan. And we just wait to see what everyone else gets. But anyway, back to the more important. Cavaliers versus the NDCC MACE Royals. Cavaliers currently 136 for 5. And Yasser Mohammed 2 from 2, facing Akari Sims, the man who got the wicket last of Marshall. And that's just pushed down onto the leg side. And they have 1 run and will not go for the second. Good fielding there from the Royals.
Yes, you're right that this is the more important match, and for that sake, we have to keep people abreast with the other matches that are being played. So Australia versus England, they would hear it here first.
Just little updates to keep people.
The 400 mark, you go ahead and give them. Who would have gotten 400 test wickets?
Nathan Lyon, the spinner, the Australian spinner, gets his 400th test wicket. And I believe Milan was that wicket.
There you go. So you would have heard it here first on the MAQ TV. So noted. Thank you, Sasha. 139 for 5. So Yasir Mohammed has just joined the party, and he too is striking at 100. 3 from 3.
And that is the end of over number 16. We'll take a quick break while we get ready for over number 17.
Well, it's time for a cup of tea. I'll let you.
Yeah, tea is going to solve all my problems at the moment. And as you can see on the screen, Mad Hatter also do coffee. And we will be helping ourselves to some of those tomorrow. Probably a little bit late for a tea personally, but always good to take Mad Hatter tea breaks throughout the day just to stay hydrated.
But I'm disagreeing with you. It is never a bad time for a cup of tea. It's always a good time for a cup of tea.
And here we go again. Ali Sheikh, the man with the ball in hand. Yasser Mohammed will be the man facing. He's currently 3 from 3. Cavaliers, 22 yards, 139 for 5, 4 overs to go.
Okay, well, two relatively new batsmen, because they've only faced some 15 deliveries between both of them. He's on the back foot. He's punching into the offside, running the first one fast, as the coaches manual would have told him to do, but they can only get 1 for that.
Yeah, current run rate is 8.7, and I think we're on track for around the 170 mark maybe for the Cavaliers. And that's probably a good score on this pitch under the lights, but we'll have to wait and see if they can get there first. So partnership moves on to 6, and Ali Sheikh getting ready for his second delivery of his final over of the match.
And if you're just joining us, this is the last of 3 matches slated for today. You would have missed the first 2. This one is going aerial, in the air. There's a man getting onto it, but it's going to be all in vain, because it goes beyond the boundary ropes for yet another US Open maximum.
Yeah, that's gone miles in the air and also had the legs on it as well. That's a huge 6, and Hamad Azam will be pretty pleased with that shot. There you go. It's gone so far, it's gone out of focus.
Yes, and he didn't hit it as cleanly as he would have liked, but he got the desired result, and that's what matters. They would have won the toss, Cavalier 22 yards, so they need to put a score. He's swinging outside, from outside the off stump, and he's going to get leg byes, I think. Yes, he would have missed all of it, but he was trying to sweep from outside the off stump, struck outside the off stump, and by the laws of cricket, he should not be out. It was way outside the off stump, about 6 stumps outside the off stump. Cannot be given out. Should not be given out.
Exactly right. But it does mean that Yasir Mohammed comes on strike as they took that single. And here comes Ali Sheikh into Mohammed. And that's going to be a wide.
Oh, that's an easy call to make. Even me could have made that with my eyes closed.
I'm sure you're right there. And as you say, easy decision. And Ali Sheikh bowls the ball again. And that's swiped onto the offside, down to the boundary. But there's a man there. And just a single goes to Mohammed's name and to the Cavaliers score, who are 1 shy of 150, 5 wickets down. 2 more balls left in the 17th over.
Okay, well, the party should have started already. So we have 2 balls in this over. They need a boundary. And he's telling him, you're going to be man-cad. Stay in your crease because that is not a fair play. You're cheating.
Yeah, smiles all around. It's only a warning. And again, that ball is swiped down to the boundary. But again, there is a man there. So just another single.
You call it bowling to your field. 150 comes up. And it's 150 for 5. 1 legal delivery left in over number 17. They need a boundary here. I would think to keep the momentum going. The current run rate has gone below 9.
And that is struck nicely. Just for the single though. Just for the single. And Yasir Mohammed 6 off his 6. Ahmad Azam 20 off 15. And Ali Sheikh ends his 4 overs. 1 wicket, 26 runs off them. Not a bad set of figures there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, not bad at all. Good day's work, something to write home about. I would have bowled my 4 allotted overs for 26 runs, and I got myself in the wicket column.
Yeah, the wickets are all important. The Cavaliers were going at a nice rate, and still are, but the wickets, 5 wickets to be precise, have certainly slowed them down as we move through their overs.
Okay, so 12 legal deliveries left, and we're saying that they should be able to get another, 24 more runs to get to the 175?
Yeah, but 3 overs to go.
And 3 overs to go? Oh, that's easy peasy, I should think. At one stage, I thought we were going to see another 200 on the cards, the way how Stephen Taylor would have started. But who knows? Another 50 runs could be had from 18 deliveries. Oh, there's a looping full toss. Probably it's going to be a no ball. Let us see. But he was down when he was playing that shot. But would it have gone over the waist if he would have been standing in his upright normal position?
Look, just the 4 given. And as we said, we thought 200 was possible at the start. And if Kari Sims keeps bowling balls like that with Mohammed playing shots like that, it's not out of the realms of possibility.
You are absolutely correct, and the current run rate has gone back to 9. They need to up that and get it up to 10, and if they can get it to 10, 200 would be on the cards.
So Kari Sims, 4 off his first delivery. He looks like he's just drying off that ball, making sure it doesn't slip out of his hand again.
Yes, the Jew has set in here, and that's one of the reasons that they would have won the toss and batted first. But I don't know if they want to bowl with a wet ball. But apparently they wanted to give the batters... Ooh, that one was outside the off stump, going further away. He was on the back foot, taken cleanly there by the wicket-keeper.
Good comeback there from Sims. His first ball, not quite what he wanted. And he comes back nicely with a dot ball for his second delivery. Cavaliers 155 for 5. 17.2 overs gone.
His last man out, Xavier Marshall. He is gone for 36. Oh, another looping one, and he's hitting this one to the wide of long on, but just for a single.
Yeah, he managed to place that ball nicely in between the 3 fielders. And so you'd like to say he would say that he did that on purpose, but I don't think he quite got a hold of the ball there.
Exactly. We're going to say I think he missed out. He was trying to go for glory, but just got it 1 bounce to the wide long on.
So again, after the 4, smart from Sims, just 1 of those next 2 balls, 3 balls of the 18th over, and here he comes again. Bowling to Hamad Azam, who just pushes it onto the leg side, and it looks like long on is running into mid on and collects the ball, giving it back to Akari Sims, and I think just a single from it again.
Yes, indeed. He's holding the rein after that boundary with the looping full toss down the leg side. He has kept the batters in check.
And the run rate again goes under 9. Not bad, but they'll want to hit maybe a few more boundaries just to pick it up a little bit. 157 for 5. And a reverse sweep.
Let's see if he got some will on that. But the ball eludes the wicket keeper.
And he's lost his bat.
In running. By signal by the umpire.
Yeah, I didn't think he got a hold of that. Let's watch that again. Yeah, nearly hit the keeper's hands with his bat. He was swiping so hard. And that will be byes, as you mentioned. Here comes Sims, last ball of his third over.
Driving. And just for one. So apart from the boundary of the first delivery, he came back and came back well. And he has bowled his 3 overs for 20 runs. And he too is in the wicket column. And this time, probably we'll go and see what we can do in the real estate on the market. So 160 for 5, 18 overs done and dusted. So the penultimate over will be bowled here, and this will tell us probably how far we'll get into the runs. So Tiwari, he's going to come for his third. He's been pretty expensive. It's gone for 34 from 2.
Yeah, that's very expensive. And here he comes for his third over, and that has been cut away, I think, just for the single.
But it was an aggressive shot, and it shows that the message came in a bottle to say, go for glory. We have all of 5 wickets in the hut. You should try to get as many as you can. Net run rate always come into play in tournaments like these.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Somerset Cavaliers, 22 yards, will want to get as many runs on the board as they can to make their bowlers more relaxed when they hit the field.
Yeah, the MACE Royals, I don't think they have not won a game in this tournament.
No, not
and
yet.
I don't think the 22 yards want to go down to them. But in cricket and in 2020 cricket, anybody can win. You never know. You never know.
It's a game of 2 halves, isn't it? As they say. A nice commentary phrase.
You're absolutely correct.
And here we go. Tiwari in for his second delivery. And that was mishit by Azam. Are they going to scamper for 2? No, just the single taken. So Mohammed now takes the strike against Tiwari. He's gone for 36 off his 2.2 overs.
Yeah, he's not timing this one. He was trying to really bludgeon it to the onside, and it came off the inner portion of the bat, and he can only get 1. But the left-handed southpaw, Mohammed, comes on strike. He's on lucky 13. Bang! He plays this one in the offside. Lovely bit of feeling there. And here is a chance for a run out. No, but he would have knocked the stump over before he got the ball. Oh, comedy of errors there.
Oh, I was about
I'm
to
sure
say
we'll
that.
see it again. He made a mockery of that.
You can see the batters laughing at one another for the confusion.
Yes.
Let's rewatch this. Here we go. So,
Bang!
strikes
good shot.
hard.
Good bit of feeling. On your knees. Over toes. He knocked the stumps over, ball out of hand, and it's like a comedy of errors at the non-striker's end.
He would have been way, way out of his crease if the ball had hit the stumps cleanly or if the bowler hadn't stepped on them. But here Tiwari comes again, and that is struck nicely. There is a fielder there out in the deep, though, so just a single from it.
Yes, so
And
all poles so far.
exactly. 4 from the over in singles.
They're going to need a boundary. Are they going to get the 175 that I predicted?
I think the next 2 balls will really dictate where they're going to end up. They're going to need a boundary. But as we said, 160 to 170 is about par on a pitch at this time of night.
Yes,
But I think the Cavaliers are wanting to go above that. And here comes Tiwari for his 5th delivery. And a swing and a miss. If Mohammed had got hold of that, well, that would have gone out of the park. But as it happens, he totally missed the ball altogether, and Tiwari is saved from that huge shot.
Yes, Navneet Tiwari. It's going to be his last over. He can bowl no more than 3 because just one over left. Blights! He's bowled him, knocked him over. So he too gets into the wicket column. He's trying to be too cheeky there. Went too far across, and his leg stump was pegged back.
Yeah, he tried to guide that down to fine leg. We can rewatch that here. And as you said, just left his stumps open, and Tiwari made sure not to miss that opportunity. And with the last ball of his 3rd over, last ball of the 19th over, the NDCC MACE Royals get the wicket of Yasir Mohammed, who goes for 14 off his 15 deliveries.
Okay, so one more over. Last 6 legal deliveries. We shall see. 164. My call was for 175. They're 11 away. I think Azam going to have to be the man to do that. He's been there for some 18 deliveries. He's on 23. But he will be on strike. Here we go again. Too far across, pal. You forget those 3 sticks behind you.
Yeah, and he saw the stumps lighting up behind him and had to go back. And Aldane Thomas, the new man to the crease. But as you said, as it was the end of the over, Azam will be the man facing, and probably for the best, as he is the seasoned campaigner in this game. And wide ball to start. So Sandy, as he has on the back of his shirt, the man with the ball, starts with the wide. There you go again. And easy call for the umpire there. So here he goes again. And that has been hit miles. That's gone for 6. That's a lovely, lovely shot by Azam. And the 6 was really needed then for the Cavaliers to move up into the 170s.
So I guess the 175 is no longer in danger of being realized. Just 1 strike away.
And here we go again. And that is another big shot. Has he got all of it? No, he has not. And he's caught in the deep. And Hamad Azam, the man who wanted to see the Cavaliers to the end, is caught out for 29 runs.
Either way, a wicket has been put down, 171 for 7, and we are playing on pitch number 2, and for that reason, that's the longer side of the boundaries, because the boundary ropes, they were not moved when they played on pitch number 1. So an extra 10 yards away on pitch number 1, that would have been a clear 6. But since they're playing on pitch number 2, that's the further side of the boundary, and he was trying to go for the boundary in the deep mid-wicket area, and he was caught out. And a magnificent catch at that.
Yeah, exactly right. The Cavaliers, 171 for 7, 4 deliveries remaining. And here comes Shivaram. What can he do here? That's just pushed down to long on, who fields nicely, but they get 2 runs from it. And Aldane Thomas, 2 runs to his name and 2 runs to the Cavaliers score.
So 173, I'm 2 away from my prediction. So I think we'll have the 175 and then some.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to get more than just the 2 runs off the last 3 deliveries.
I would hope, just for cricket's sake. Oh, that one was wide outside the off stump, but he's banging it into the offside. And they thought of 2, but they settled for 1. So 174 for 7. Sasha, you'll have to take these last 2 balls home.
Well, I think it was a great call from you, 175. But as we said, they've got 2 balls remaining, and I think they're going to get slightly more than just the 1 run, or you'd like to think they will. Kareem Agor, the new man, to the crease on strike, and he has managed to hit that basically back into the ground. But they run the single, so 175, as Ivor Thomas predicted, and 1 delivery left off the last ball.
Do you want a lot of numbers?
Hit me. Here we go. They are running hard, and
He's given. So the last man went out, so they got 176. I predicted 175. I'm going to take the one over. Am I forgiven?
you are very much forgiven. 176 the Cavaliers, 22 yards finish on. So 176 for 8. And that is the final score of their 20 overs. And do you reckon they'll be happy with that?
I would think so. They thought they would have gotten a bit more than that, but I think they'll take that. Having won the toss, elected to bat.
And here we go. Let's run through the batsmen. So Stephen Taylor, the man who started the Cavaliers campaign, he got 23 runs. Ramiz Raja Jr., he got 30. And Xavier Marshall bowled by Akari Sims for 36. He's the top scorer of the Cavaliers. Milind Kumar out for 6. Aaron Jones out for 12. Hamad Azam, 29, and a really nice cameo by him. Yazir Mohammed, he was bowled by Tiwari for 14. Aldane Thomas run out on that last ball by Dev Jivnani for 4, and Kareem Agor not out for 1. 21 extras though, that's a lot from the NDCC MACE Royals, and that's really helped the Cavaliers get to their total of 176. So let's have a look at the bowlers. So 3 wickets for Valissa Magari. He bowled really nicely for 24 runs, 3 wickets off his 4 overs. Then wickets also for Tiwari, Ali Sheikh, Akari Sims and Dev Jivnani, all 1 wicket to their name. As we said, 21 extras, and halfway stage, the Cavaliers, 22 yards, made 176 for 8. So 177 for the NDCC MACE Royals to win. We'll see you after the break. And we're back for the second innings of the final game of day 5 here at the US Cricket Open. Hello to everyone watching on MAQ TV. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening to everyone around the world. And the NDCC MACE Royals have been bowling, and they managed to restrict the Somerset Cavaliers 22 yards to 176. So 177 needed to win, 20 overs to do it. And Saeed Nadaf Shah is the man with the ball first, and here he comes bounding up, and that is just pushed away onto the offside, and dot ball to start. You can see we've got Apurva Vartak and Rakesh Kumar Gadam, the two batsmen opening for the MACE Royals, and they need 177 to win off 190 balls as Nadaf Shah comes in for ball number 2 of their innings. And that is just tucked away down the leg side, and they get the first run of their innings, and that will be leg byes. So both the batsmen stay on 0, but the MACE Royals go to 1 run off just the second delivery. And we're in the power play, as I'm sure you're all aware, which means that only 2 fielders can be outside the 30-yard inner ring. So let's see if that's going to restrict the batsmen or make them play over the top for the big boundaries. And Nadaf Shah at the top of his run-up, he starts bounding in, and Kumar Gadam is man facing the ball, and that is pushed away, but as I said before, all the fielders up in the inner ring, so that will be another dot ball.
Yes, Sasha, a good start here from Nadaf Shah. A very tall bowler. He comes with good leadership here for the 22 yards. The Somerset Cavaliers 22 yards, and over the years he has had really good success at the US Open, and he will come in here to bowl to the opening batter.
So here he comes for ball number 4 of his opening over, and Madani is the man facing, and he pushes it onto the leg side again, and just a single. So finally one of the batters gets off the mark. Madani, 1 of his 2 deliveries faced, and the MACE Royals move on to 2.
Yeah, Modani he's a top player. He's part of the US national setup these days, and having just made his entrance this year. So a lot is expected of him in these tournaments to prove that his call up to the US national team is certainly a good one. So Vartak will be the man on strike, and we've seen a tidy start so far from Nadaf Shah, and a player who has played at the international level before.
Here he comes, ball number 5. And that is pushed back by Vartak, and another dot ball. So as you were saying, tight start.
Very tight start. Nadaf Shah over the years, Sasha, he has led several teams to title in this competition. He would have captained US All-Stars at one time, and would have been a part of the Somerset Cavaliers. Now they go as the Cavaliers 22 yards, a merger with one of the top teams in DC area called 22 yards.
And here he comes again, bounding in with Vartak on strike, and that has come up high, and Vartak has hit it high, and it's going to race away for 4. So that is the first boundary by the MACE Royals, and Vartak gets the 4 runs to his name as well.
Yeah, short and pulled into the onside. A very brave shot. Let's take a look. Vartak picked it up well, and perhaps not the best of timing, but just good enough for it to go in front of Yasir Mohammed, and the ball goes away for 4. A brave looking shot from the man.
Yeah, at the end of the first over, it's 6 for no loss. And just going back to that ball before the 4 runs, as I mentioned, it is the power play, so only 2 fielders out in the deep, and as much as he didn't time that shot perfectly, he knew that it was going to land safe with no one out there, hitting it into no man's land, as we say.
So Cavaliers would have won here in 2017. They got to the final in 2018 and lost a very close game to to California Bears. And then in 2019, they won again. So they've had very good success here. And the unit has done well so far. They've won all their games. And they've posted 175. So it's going to be a tough one to upstage. Cavaliers 22 yards.
And Rusty Theron, the new man with the ball, bowls it to Madani, who just pushes it away for no run. And Rusty Theron, the South African player, he's been pretty good over the last few days. We've seen him.
Yes, Sasha. These days we're seeing a lot of players who would have played for two international, whose career would have spanned two countries internationally, and Rusty Theron is one of them.
Here he comes, ball number 2 of his opening over. And that has gone high in the air, and there is a man underneath it. Is he going to take it? He does. That's a lovely catch. And that ball looked like it came off the top edge of Madani's bat and went high in the air, and the fielder was underneath it. It hung for a while. So sometimes that can put a little bit of pressure on the fielder, but he took it well. Let's watch that one more time.
Yeah, Najaf Shaw, it appears. Yeah, took it high up. He's a very tall man, but in the end, sometimes you're right. The higher the ball goes, it's a little bit more difficult for it when it comes down. But in the end, Najaf Shaw picks up a wicket. Rusty Theron strikes, and the big wicket of Madani goes 6 for 1.
Yeah, we saw that interesting celebration there from the Cavaliers, doing little crab gestures with their hands. I'm sure there's an inside joke about that. Maybe we can speak to them about that at another time, but Rusty Theron, the man with the breakthrough, he is 1 for no runs. So great start from him.
So Jivnani comes to the middle quite early, and he had a good knock during the course of this series, but a lot of pressure on them. 171 still to get from 112 balls, asking 9 runs and over. And at the moment, things have just started here. They're going just over 4 runs and over. With already the big wicket of Sushan Madani off the bowling of Rusty Theron. And I was making the point that Rusty Theron and also Xavier Marshall are two players who would have played separately for two countries at the international level.
Yeah, it's impressive playing for one country, let alone two. So here comes the big man, Rusty Theron, again for his third delivery. And bowling to Vartak, who just pushes that onto the leg side, and that is going down to the boundary, but there's going to be some cover there. Comes running around, and I think they managed to get 2 runs off that. It was rolling away slowly towards the boundary, and so comfortable 2, and Vartak moves on to 6.
So good looking shot from Vartak, and Sasha, one of the things with this tournament gives not only the big players like Xavier Marshall and Rusty Theron and Aaron Jones and Stephen Taylor, but it has given some players the platform to really perform, and some players to really showcase their talent. And the likes of Vartak, for example, he may not be one of the big names, but he still got a platform here. And if he does well, you never know who's watching.
Exactly that. And you're right, this kind of tournament is great for both seeing the big names and the new names. And it's great experience for everyone, and a great show of talent all around, both young and old.
And the fact is, Sasha, the other thing about cricket viewing these days is the views and the eyeballs that is watching the game. As Rusty Theron comes into Vartak.
And that just beats Vartak. He tried to play that with soft hands, and the ball just bounces over the top of his bat. So that came up quite high.
And the fact is, these players like Vartak and company, they get everyone to watch the game. They get the entire family and everybody to tune into the broadcast. So they add some strength to the broadcast. And so far, Rusty Theron has been excellent. Just a couple of runs off the over.
And here he comes in for his final ball. And that was a good ball. He didn't let Vartak get his body to get a proper swing on that, and he just pushes it onto the leg side for a single. And so after over number 2, the Mace Royals are 9 for 1.
MAQ
So
Group is a real
partnership
estate
now-
investment company. Our goal at MAQ Group is to provide you with the expertise and service you need to do business in today's complex market. More information, visit MAQgroup.com.
Partnership now of 3 between Vartak and Jivnani. Jivnani yet to face a ball. And at the end of that over, Mace Royals were 9 for 1. And Vartak, 7 off 8 deliveries, will be the man facing the first ball of Saeed Najaf Shah's second over. He went for 5 off his first over. Let's see if he can keep it as tight in his second.
Yeah, he's a quality bowler. And Sasha, did you know he's played a couple of one international for Pakistan?
I didn't. That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
And here he comes in, bounding those long legs. And that's a really quick ball coming into Vartak. He gets bat on ball and just nudges it away. Not very far off the middle, to be honest. But bat on ball is better than no bat on ball.
So he comes into ball to Vartak and the likes of Dev Jivnani. And just coming back to the fact that we were making about some of the players that are not known around the world. And you watch the pair out in the middle. Big event for them. I'm pretty sure that they have their followers watching this feed.
And second delivery, and that beats the bat. Vartak not quite getting into his groove just yet. He is 7 off 10 deliveries, but we have to give credit to Nadaf Shah, who's bowling really nicely at the moment.
Yeah, Najaf Shah, even some of the accomplished batsmen, he does pose some problems. So he's a tough customer, very experienced, and having played at the international level briefly, that wealth of experience certainly comes in to playing big matches such as this one.
Yeah, again, long legs running in, and again, bowls it wide, and Vartak gets bat on ball that time, and that runs away to the boundary, and 4 runs goes to Vartak there.
Yeah, that's a lovely shot, just opening the face of the bat, allowing the pace to do the rest. Take a look. Wide, that's a lovely shot. And it races away towards the offside for 4. That's a good looking shot from Vartak.
So 13 for 1 after 2.3 overs. A reminder to anyone just tuning in, we're still in the power play. And 164 to win off 105 balls. Nadaf Shah halfway through his second over. Comes in again to Vartak, who's 11 off 11, and he just pushes it away again to the offside for no runs. Another good ball from Nadaf Shah after that boundary.
So we're well into the night here at the Broward County Stadium, a stadium that has hosted international events on several occasions, and will do so again in a couple of weeks as Ireland makes their tour of the US. And certainly a big expectation on the US national team coming up against a full nation as Ireland is.
And here comes Nadaf Shah again. And that has come up really nicely on a pitch that you'd think at this time of night is maybe getting a little bit heavier. He's really getting the ball to bounce, isn't he?
Yeah, good carry, good bounce here from Najaf Shah. He's a quality bowler. And the ball would have gone through to Aldane Thomas, and that completes the unit here of Cavaliers 22 yards. Aldane Thomas, he's one of the quickest wicketkeeper around, lightning speed arm. When he gets to keep up to the spinners, and so the man behind the stumps, Aldane Thomas, he's a top keeper. In addition to the quality bowling attack that Cavaliers 22 yard brings to the table.
Final ball of the over. Here we go. And that is just pushed down onto the leg side, and they will get a single for that effort. So at the end of over number 3, Mace Royals are 14 for 1 wicket. Nadaf Shah 10 off his first 2 overs.
So Dev Jevnani will have to wait a while longer, Sasha. He's been there for at least about 6 to 8 balls. He hasn't faced the ball, and he will not for the time being. Rusty Tehran will steam in And he will come into bowl to Apurva Vartak.
As you can see on screen, 163 to win off 102 balls as Sarong comes in for over number 2 of his spell. Oh, and that has beaten Vartak for pace there. It came back into his body and just made him really knot up as he couldn't play a shot off that ball. So really good start to the over from Theron.
So US All-Stars in addition to Cavaliers 22 yards are 2 of the front runner from this division. And it's looking like Samp Army who has done well over on the other division. Punjab Blues has also put up points there.
And here he comes again, Rusty Theron, and that should be a wide and is a wide. Yeah, the bounce there just pushed it out too wide for the batsman to reach. And as you can see on screen, the umpire clearly signalling Rusty Theron, giving him a little smile there, knows that it wasn't the best delivery he's done, and towers over the umpire as he walks back, doesn't he?
So that ball spraying wide outside the off stump from Rusty Theron, but still tidy bowling figures so far.
Vartak on strike and swing and a miss. He's bowling really nicely here. Vartak, 12 off 16 at the moment. He's played some nice shots, but he doesn't seem to be reading Theron very well at the moment and just can't seem to get bat on ball.
So Cavaliers 22 yards have always attracted some good fast bowler. I remember last year Fidel Edwards played for this team and Rusty Theron was not around, so they've always kept up the pace with having 2 good quality fast bowler as they have tonight.
Ball number 3 of the 4th over. Theron comes in, and that time Vartak does get bat on ball, and that flies away to the boundary, and a lovely 4 runs to add to the Mace Royals total.
Yeah, that's a lovely shot from Vartak. Look at this, short and wide and smashed away through the offside. Lovely sight to behold here. That's a good looking shot from Vartak. He goes quickly up to 16.
Yeah, you mentioned that Ireland are coming here to play the USA. We've got a couple of Irish internationals here, as well as obviously the US players. So it'll be really good for all of them to be getting experience on this pitch ahead of the upcoming series.
Yeah, those 2 players are Delani and Tecta.
And ball number 4 of over number 4, and Theron comes running up, and that was a good bouncer over the shoulders of Vartak, who just can't hit the ball at that height.
And Vartak is not backing down on a challenge, short, and he's playing a brave pull shot. And many times, Sasha, those brave pull shots, sometimes you get very good reward, even if it comes off the edge. And it flies anywhere to third man or fine leg sometime. With the pace of Rusty Theron, it will probably go for 6. But those shots, you've got to be brave and you've got to play them.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And at that time, Vartak couldn't play it, and Theron in again. Oh, that's absolutely done him. That was moving out away from the bat, and Vartak, as you can see, struggling a little bit against Theron here. He thought that was going to be a little bit straighter than it was, and you can see the wicket-keeper, hands on his head, not entirely sure how that missed the bat there.
Yeah, squared him up. If you look at that ball, it probably started leg stump, and it swung across the batsman. Good bowling here from Rusty Theron so far, but we've seen a lovely shot from Vartak.
And last ball of the over here, and Vartak just manages to double that down to the sort of wide third man, and they get the single. So Dev Javnani finally thought he was going to get some ball, but it is the end of the over, so Vartak hogs the strike again, and at the end of the 4th over it is 20 for 1, run rate of 5 at the moment. So, quick update on the Ashes. Ben Stokes, one of England's best players, is out. bowled Cummins Court Green, so England 266 for 6, and it's not looking great for England here. But back to the main event, and Nadav Shah comes in for his third over, and that is top edge and is going to go over the fielder's head into no man's land, and they're going to run 2 there and fall safely.
So a couple of runs there to Vartak. He continues to play some good ones. He continues to enjoy some bit of luck. And Sasha, you know, many times, sometimes it's not necessarily the skill and the ability of the players, but sometimes you need lady luck on your side. And certainly he's gone up to 19. But let's take a look about the man on the other side, Dave Jivnani. He's been there for 16 balls, make that 17 balls, and he hasn't faced a ball yet.
Yeah, he should join us here in the comms box, the amount of watching he's doing. And that was trying to be a cheeky shot there from Vartak, moving across his stumps, tried to play the ball over the keeper's head and misses. And that's going to be a dot ball from Nadav Shah.
So we've seen a couple of overs coming down to the 5th ball. The final ball, Vartak was able to get a single. And Jivnani still starved of strike for 18 balls. We'll see how long this will go on for. But so far, Najaf Shah with only a couple of runs in the over.
Yeah, here he comes for ball number 3 of the 5th over. Bounding in there, and that is played nicely onto the offside, but no runs again as the fielder is nicely placed to prevent that from going any further. So Mace Royals 22 for 1. 3 balls until the end of the 5th over. Still in the power play. Their current run rate is just under 5, and they're going to need 10 and over to get close to the score that the Cavaliers, 22 yards, put on the board.
It's going to be a tough one. Tough bowling attack, 175. We've seen in this tournament, 175 seems to be on the safer side of things. We saw today a team getting 208, crossing the 200 mark for the first time in the series.
And here comes Nadav Shah to Vartak, who swings and misses. He got down on one knee. He was ready for the big shot there. And Nadav Shah read him really nicely and prevented that from happening. Here you go again.
So here comes the 5th ball. We know what happens on, well, in fact, that's the 4th ball. But let's see what happens here. And Dev has been out of strike for a long time. He hasn't faced a ball yet.
Yeah, he's going to have to keep himself warm. Not that it's cold out there, but coming in, he would be ready to hit a few balls around. And as you say, he's been on the non-strikers end for a lot of it. But here comes Nadav Shah, and that has been pulled straight to the fielder, who takes a wonderful catch on the boundary. I believe that's Yasir Mohammed with the fabulous catch down there. And Vartak, who has been hogging the ball, some would say, goes for 19 off 24 deliveries.
Yeah, look at this catch from Yasir Mohammed. He's a young player, one of the young under 19 prospect, and he takes a very good catch, just inches away from the backward square boundary. He held on to it for dear life. And so a second wicket goes down. It's 22 for 2.
High fives all round for the Cavaliers. They will be thrilled with that second wicket. And now we have 2 batsmen at the crease who have faced no balls between them, despite the fact that Jivnani has been there for 4 overs, is it now? About 4 overs without facing a ball. So won't be able to give a huge amount of advice on how it's playing onto the bat. But let's watch that again. That was a wonderful ball and a wonderful catch.
So, lovely catch. Yeah, may have lost it momentarily, but he held on to it for dear life. And so a couple of wickets fall here. Nimbalka comes to the middle. Ninad Nimbalka. And with a lot of work to be done here, Najaf Shah has picked up one with Rusty Tehran. They're batting at 22 for 2.
Yeah, one more ball of the 5th over. And we'll see what happens here. Nimbalka, the new man at the crease, none for none, as is Dev Jivnani.
So Jivnani hasn't faced the ball in 21 deliveries. Let's see if the batsman gets a single. Look at that, a single, and he will be out of strike again. So what is happening to Dev tonight?
Yeah, it's almost as if they don't want him to be there.
22 balls and he hasn't faced a ball.
There's going to be a double change in commentary now. Apologies, you're going to have to stick with me for a little bit longer, and I'm joined here by the wonderful Ivor, who has been making correct predictions all day. It's getting rather tiring, all of these right answers from you.
Jeff Boycott. That's the last one came to mind. The first cap, and here comes Vinod.
You will finally get to see the back of me as Vinod joins us in the comms box.
Yes, indeed. So 23 for 2. So thank you for holding on there until Vinod come through.
Well, yeah. So Ivor, Ivor makes way now for Dr. Nilesh Mehta. 23 for 2. This is a good start here by the Cavaliers. 22 yards. Najaf Shah's boys. Najaf Shah is a good leader of men. He gets these guys to perform for him. And again, I think they may be the first team to go straight into the semi-finals once they win here tonight. Tehran bowls a very quick delivery, but it was a booming bouncer and called wide. No surprises there.
You know, as you probably know, Rusty Theron became a household name in US cricket after that famous win that he was involved with in a match against Canada.
Well, he is, of course, a former South African player, has the experience. Is he doing a boomerang? He's walking up and then breaking into a short run down the leg side, wide signal. You were telling me off air that he did a stint in commentary as well.
Yeah, I think I heard him in one of the minor league cricket games and came across nice South African accent, and if I caught it correctly, it was Rusty. By the way, do you know why his name is Rusty?
No, I would love to know why.
I think it's the color of his hair. Rusty colored hair. That's why the name Rusty Theron. But
so did he change his name? Is that his official name?
I believe so, as he comes in right arm over the wicket, and this time
that's a Jaffa.
That delivery had some juice in it after the previous two wides that caught Dave Jivnani by some surprise as the ball just sped to the wicket keeper. 26 for 2.
Rusty Theron is a very pleasant guy. You know, I've had some conversations with him. He's very pleasant. And not so pleasant with the ball in his hands because he has really worked up a head of steam here from that short approach. Here he goes again. That's a good delivery. Right on spot. Rusty seems to have a hot date. He's moving very quickly after bowling those deliveries. This is over number 6. The MACE Royals. They are 26 for 2. They are winless. And the Cavaliers, they have won both their games so far. A win tonight for the Cavaliers will see them into the semi-final, and a loss for the MACE Royals will see them out of the tournament. Down the leg side again. So yes, you can see a lot of effort balls here by Tehran. Seems to be going flat out looking to take wickets.
Yeah, this is the third wide of the over, Vinod.
Yep.
And Rusty's wanting to get his line back in rhythm as he goes back up and gets set, having a brief conversation with the fielder at mid-off. Coming in right arm over the wicket to bowl to Dave Jivnani. And Jivnani just places it on the offside to a packed infield, no run results.
That was a delivery that was pitched up, so there was a bit of shape on it. Not that much though. Score at the moment 27 for 2. We've had some wonderful matches today. The cricket has been brilliant, absolutely brilliant since Monday.
We saw Pfeiffer. We saw the highest score of the tournament by Jaskaran Malhotra as Rusty comes into bowl. And this time the ball comes into the pads as he tucks it away to square leg and they amble across for a single.
And we saw a hat trick this morning.
That's right. A very action-packed day.
Berman Said. So who you think, looking at all the talent available, I know it's a difficult question, but who you think are some of the front runners that may finish with the most runs in this tournament, Doc?
Well, I think the batsman that we saw today blast away Malhotra, and you and I spoke to him after the game. Such a grounded young man that obviously had his dejection. We'll talk more about it after this delivery as he places it to third man and comes across for a single as the score moves up to 29 for 2. The North Dallas Cricket Club MACE Royals, Nimbalkar on 2 and Jivnani on 1. But in terms of the talent level, I think the way Malhotra plays in this particular format, the T20 format, he's born to play this format. The way he smacks the ball, and you saw the huge sixes. His sixes are not just finishing over the ropes. They are like, hey rope, bye-bye, I'm gone, way beyond you.
Yeah, he's a strong man. And he hits them. When he hits them, they stay hit. But I honestly don't think Malhotra will be the highest run scorer in this tournament. I think the man who will score the most runs in this tournament will be Roddy Lalman, because he's the scorer. Ninad Nimbalka, he has 2, and he is now going to face. Let's see who takes up the attack from the far end.
Everybody listening to our commentary, as a co-commentator of Mr. Mamchan, you have to pay very close attention because sometimes his jokes just fly by, and sometimes they could be like a bulb joke or a tube light joke. And the tube light sometimes flickers. It takes a while to kick in. So you have to be paying attention not only to the game, but your fellow commentator as well.
Well, it's going to be Karima Gore, who was the man of the match in their last game with 4 wickets. And this is played away on the onside. So the target is 177. There should be a period of consolidation, but they're way behind that required rate at the moment. 147 of 83. I think rotation, there's a mix-up. This could lead to a run out, but the throw was not a good one. Karima Gore, not happy with the return. Here he is again, left arm orthodox.
Going wide of the crease, as he tries to angle that delivery in to the right-hander.
Well, he was successful on that occasion in angling it in, looking to cramp him for room, but he just went back and was able to punch it just to mid-on. I was saying early on in the week, we were speaking about the sweep shot. And I was saying that as he punched that delivery, I remembered a conversation that I held with Sir Viv. He was telling me he absolutely hated the sweep shot.
What was the reason for that?
He said he rather come back at that time when he was on the West Indies team or even for Somerset. He rather played back and punch it to mid-on, or play back and punch it to mid-off, or even come forward and play in the V. He said that sweeping, you just have 4 inches to play with. He said he was better off presenting the entire blade of the bat.
But nowadays in T20, particularly against the spinners, a lot of the right-handed batsmen and even some of the southpaws employ the sweep stroke with perfection.
Yeah, the reverse sweep as well. But he was never a lover of that. I would have liked to have seen him play a T20 match, Nilesh.
You know, I would have traveled any part of the world to see Sir Viv play a T20 match.
Yeah.
I would go anywhere. Just happened before his time, but you and I had the pleasure of meeting Viv Richards right here at this venue, and we spent some quality time with him. And I was in the room with Sir Viv and Sunny Gavaskar, and Viv Richards was entertaining Sunil Gavaskar with the calypso music and some Caribbean songs.
Yeah, he's a great guy, Sir Viv. And, you know, Indian and West Indian cricketers always shared that close bond, even up to today. I remember going to India. There was a World Cup function to launch the World Cup. That was the 2016 edition. As this is played away down to third man, they take one, and that's all. They will get a lovely bit of fielding there as the MACE Royals continue to struggle. And there was this function where all the previous World Cup winners, the captains, were invited. Alan Border was there. Ricky Ponting from Australia was also there. Steve Waugh was there as well. Inzamam ul Haq had represented Imran Khan. Clive Lloyd was there, having won 2. And Arjuna Ranatunga was there as well from Sri Lanka.
Some big names.
Yeah, the World Cup winning captains, they were invited. Kapil Dev, of course, was there. And this was at a function in Delhi. And this just goes to the right of Yasir Mohammed. And they take 1. So that's a good delivery. It actually stopped. And the let's look at it again. Here he is. It stopped. And just to his right.
And Yasir made a brilliant effort, diving to his right. Just eluded his outstretched fingers there.
And back to the story, showing the relationship between the Indians and the West Indian cricketers. As they announced the captains to come onto the stage, they left Clive Lloyd for last. What they did, they invited the winning captain of the most recent World Cup to come up first. So that was Ricky Ponting, because this function was held in 2015, leading to the 2016 World Cup in Australia. So Kapil Dev was then called as the penultimate World Cup winner. That would have been 1983.
Right.
Previous to him would have been Lloyd on 75 and 79.
Correct.
And on the stage, and there were about 500 people invited to this thing. On the stage, all the captains were there. And as Clive Lloyd approached the stage when he was called, he was shaking hands going down the line. And when he reached Kapil Dev, there was music playing. Kapil stood and started to dance. Lloyd then followed him in dance. He failed miserably at the dance, the Indian dance, but it showed the relationship. And I remember at the 2019 World Cup commentating with these two gentlemen. And you could have seen the admiration that Kapil had for Clive.
Yeah. That camaraderie between the West Indies cricketers and Indian cricketers has always been quite great. And even growing up in India and watching the West Indies cricketers play, you know, we always had a lot of love and affection for the West Indies cricketers, going back to Kalicharan, Gordon Greenwich, Desmond Haynes, Clive Lloyd, to mention a few. We always had a lot of admiration for them, as Karima Gore now settles in to bowl his second over.
A very good first over, just the 4 runs coming from it. And he's going to continue again. He's going to continue looking to cramp Nimbalka for room, which he does there. Yeah, that admiration was always there, and it continues to be there. You know, India West Indies is a storied history. You go back to 1983 World Cup finals when 186, I think the West Indies had to chase, and they failed. India won the World Cup for the first time. And then you go to a situation in the West Indies where Sir Garfield Sobers declared, and then they defeated the West Indies in a test match.
Right.
And that was in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. The next test match was in Georgetown, Guyana. Here's Kerry McGaw, and this is a lovely sweep shot and an even better piece of fielding behind square. Well done. That's an excellent bit of fielding there. The fielding has been on par. And the score remains 39 for 2. I think they're just going through the paces at the moment here because the NDCC MACE Royals, they need to show some more urgency at this point. So, the match balled him, yoked, and that caught Nimbalka by surprise, 39 for 3.
That arm delivery of Karima Gore that he's so good at, that one just skidded through and disturbed the furniture behind the batsman. Karima has really been bowling quite well. He has been part of the US team and a genuine all-rounder, contributes quite regularly. Man born in Bronx, New York, Vinod.
Wow.
And right-hand batsman and a slow left-arm orthodox spinner. So brings quite a bit of value to any T20 team. And his stock is going to just keep going up.
Yeah, and this is what the US Open provides for you. They provide it provides an opportunity for you to showcase your wares in order to take it to the next level, to advertise your prowess with both bat and ball or either. And this is what we are seeing there. So back to the story of West Indies and India. Sagari declared in Port of Spain, and India won the match because Sunil Gavaskar owned the Queen's Park Oval. As the teams left Trinidad and they headed to Guyana for the second test, as Sagari was passing through customs, the customs officer said, "Sagari, anything to declare?" He said, "Never again."
That's a good story. And but that 1971 series, when India toured the West Indies under the captaincy of Ajit Wadekar, is part of history in Indian cricket, because you brought up the name of Gary Sobers as Karima Gore bowls left arm over the wicket, back to the bowler, no run, 39 for 3, the MACE Royals. Ali Sheikh, the new batsman, batting on 0, and Jivnani, 6 of 12. But the interesting story about that tour was Ajit Wadekar, growing up in Bombay, did not have proper cricketing shoes, and somehow Sir Garfield Sobers found out about that. And in the hotel room, while they were playing in the West Indies, I believe at in your hometown, Port of Spain, a box was delivered outside his room. And when Wadekar opened the box, they were brand new cricket shoes for the opposing captain. So you can imagine the amount of respect Sir Garfield Sobers had for Ajit Wadekar back then. And this is a story that Ajit Wadekar himself told me when he visited my house in Chicago.
Wow. That's really good. You know, I'm so happy that you can bring that to the fore so our listeners can hear these lovely little nuggets of history that as far as cricket is concerned, outside the off stump, and that is a French cut that goes down behind square. So it's
double spin attack. Double spin attack, Vinod, from both ends. Gore from one end and Yasir Mohammed from the other.
Yeah, cricket is, I always say, is a passport, and you know, it transcends all boundaries. Pushed away on the offside. Good line. That was a googly.
And the singles or doubles is not going to cut it for the Northern Dallas Cricket Club. They will have to accelerate with some 4s and 6s, as he again pushes it to point straight to the fielder without any runs. The Royals remain at 40 for 3 as Yasir Mohammed goes back to his run-up. Fairly quick run-up, Vinod.
Yeah, he attacks that crease rapidly. Anil Kumble, this is tucked away behind square.
When you watch a leg break bowler go through his motions, the angle at which they come in sometimes gives a indication to the bowler if he is going to be trying the googly or is it going to be the regular leg spinner. This is a pretty straight run up as he bowls, and he tries to hit it towards mid wicket, but there's an appeal for
caught behind
or leg before, but it's been declared a wide.
I would love to see that one again. The ever alert wicketkeeper there.
The ball did ricochet up in the air of the pads,
so it cannot be a wide. I think the umpire is struggling on that occasion there. It did hit something, and definitely it's not a wide.
I think Rusty is talking to the umpire about something, and the umpire was seen just shrugging his shoulders at that point in time.
Let's see that again.
In slow motion also, it was a bit difficult to catch exactly what it hit.
I think the slow motion was a bit too fast on that occasion. Had to really see what was going on. That's a googly again.
There was a faster googly, wasn't it? You know, this came in quickly off the pitch. Have you seen that different tracks offer different degrees of spin on in this tournament?
Yeah, the track that is to the eastern side, which is to the right of the track you're seeing now, that was offering a lot more spin. This middle track has been better for batting. The scores have been much better on this middle track.
Ali Sheikh takes strike as Karima gets ready for his new over, third over, left arm over, and he pushes it on the offside, straight to the fielder, no run. Karima also going through his motions quickly as he's trying to get this over. Next one coming in, and again he pushes it to, this time to mid-off, left of the fielder, and they amble across for a easy single. One of the quickest bowlers that I have seen with left-arm bowling, is Ravindra Jadeja. He goes through his bowling like he needs to go somewhere.
Well, that is in itself keeps the batsman honest. Karima Gore.
He was the man of the match, Vinod, Karima, in the match between USA and Canada that was played in mid-November. He only bowled 1 over in the match, but he struck 31 of 15 deliveries in that particular match. Was the second highest scorer after Jaskaran's 35 in that match. And that match, United States won in the super over, largely because of Rusty Theron's extremely cerebral thought process of scampering for 2 runs to tie the match and pushing it to the super over.
Well, this one goes over the ropes now for 4, and it's the end of over number 11. I think we'll have a double change now with Lenny and Ivor coming in to take it further.
Welcome back, Lenny. This is where we are going to
It's a story, but
tell the tales. And good evening, good night. We are winding down day number 5. And batsman is driving and they can't get past the long on. They just amble through for a single. They've labored their way up to 49.
yeah, it's always going to be a tough one here for North Dallas Cricket Club. They've come up against a very powerful put together Cavaliers 22 yards, and this one is smashed into the onside and it's gone all the way. So good looking shot here from Ali Sheikh. Picks up a lovely 6 towards the onside.
So the 50 comes up with the luck of Lenny. We are looking at it now here again, and he's going for Glowy. Down on one knee and tugged it from outside off over the boundary ropes.
So Ali Sheikh, youth player, under 19 talent. He's a very quality batsman, and he's played well in this tournament, and brave lad.
Well, they're in hopes of reaching 177. They're still there. All of 7 wickets in the hut. Never know. 2020 cricket. 56 for 3. Into over number 12.
So Henry, you had packed your bags heading out, and you called off for duty here, huh?
Yes, indeed. I thought I would have called it a night, and just like in 2020, you never know. Had to unpack and get back into the com box, just to keep you company.
So Yasir Mohammed, Yasir has bowled well in this series so far, getting the opportunity certainly with the Cavaliers 22 yards, a unit that he has been part of for some years, and it's wonderful to see that the officials in Cavaliers 22 yard giving him opportunity not only to play but an opportunity to bowl. That's what his role is, and so far he looks to be a very, very good bowler now, and you can imagine what will happen in the future when he learns and perfect the art of right arm leg spin bowling, Ivor.
And that's the hardest part of cricket. That's the hardest form to bowl from the back of the hand. And he's doing fine so far, only giving up 17 from 3 overs. And the only thing missing there is that he has not got anything in the wicket column. But he has kept things tight along the way. 58 for the loss of 3 wickets over number 12 done and dusted. This is indeed the last match of the day. This is day number 5. Day number 6 comes up tomorrow. What's in store for tomorrow morning? First up.
Well, Ivor, I think I may have misplaced my fixture, so you'll have to pardon me there. I'll go get it when I get a break here, or maybe at the end of the over. But this one is guided away here by Ali Sheikh. He continues to bat well as Kareem Agor comes back into the attack.
Yeah, sure. The guys would like to know what's for breakfast tomorrow. Coming to you from the Broward County Stadium, the first 2 matches. We've been starting at 10 o'clock in the morning time here, and I'm sure that the folks will wonder, that's a lovely drive down the offside, and a good knock round there by the bowler, and by the look of things, he's thinking he may have had in with a chance to get bowling caught there, but we go on to 60 for 3 now, and this is Kareem Agor. He has found himself in the wicket column, and he too has been very miserly. 3 overs and 2 balls for 13 runs. This is his last over, as you know, in 2020. Lights! Let's see, there's an appeal for stumping. Not out, says the umpire. That back foot has been anchored. He's been planted in cement. You're not going to get this one today, tomorrow, or next week. He did not move that back foot. So I've heard a toy story, and it have me cracking up all day long. In my sleep, I think, if anyone hear me laughing, let me go ahead and tell you right now, it's because of the toy. And this time, he's not toying with this one, as Sheikh tugs this one way over the deep mid-wicket fence, and it's gone for US Open maximum. And here's the replay, and he's taking it from outside the off stump. It's a good-looking shot, goes up into the night sky. We're under lights here in the stadium, And I think it's a commentator's curse. I just said that he's been bowling very good, but it doesn't mean that he's not bowling good because a six has been struck off him. It just means that the batsman really got a hold of that one delivery. But overall, he has bowled really, really well. Last legal delivery from Karima Gore. He's in search of wicket number 2. He's not going to get it that way. He punches off the back foot, goes out to the cover sweeper, and no, he goes out to the long off region. As that over comes to an end, he would have bowled his 4 for 20 runs, and he would have taken a wicket. That's the end of number 13, and I'm sure Lenny will have something good to tell us when he gets back in about the breakfast for tomorrow. 67 for the loss of 3 wickets. The current run rate is 5.2. They're trying to overhaul a target of 177. Not too sure that they will get there, but early in the day, the Cavalier 22 yards would have won the toss and elected to bat first. And NDCC MACE ROYALS, they're making heavy weather of getting to the 177, but nonetheless, they're still in with a chance because it's not over until it is actually over. So Stephen Taylor is going to have his first bowl of the tournament. Batted beautifully until he got out. Bowling his right arm off spinners. He's coming from the southern end. There's a bit of dew that has formulated on the grass out there, so he has that towel in back of him. There's a chance for a run out. Wicket keeper tried to effect the run out, but the non-striker got back into his ground. He made it safely. No damage done. I want to say a big hello to Soup Bone, Ranger, Phil, Dennis, and the guys there on the eastern side of the com box here, and they're taking it all in. Even Mr. Audley Watson has graced us with his presence, and we want to say good night. And he told me to particularly tell Lenny, I said, good night. So, message delivered. He's stroking this one down the ground nicely. They just ambled through for one, but the feeling has been a bit aggressive. They too are thinking about net run weight. They're saying we're going to try to win this with as high a net run weight as is humanly possible. So if you can get these guys bowled out, or we bowled at 20 overs, I don't think they're going to be able to bowl them out. Not saying it's not possible, but with 3 wickets down, I think it will be a cardinal sin for the next 7 wickets to go. This one is in the air. It is high, but a man is running in. He's getting under it. He settles now and drops the catch. Would you believe that? That's the one that Vinod would say he will take that with his hand tied behind his back with his eyes closed. And Xavier Marshall it is, and of all persons, he was too confident. He got in, he said, look at it. Comes in, got the height, never got the distance to get over the ropes. He settles. And my word, unbelievable. Well, in the meantime, the batters would, of course, for a single from the next delivery. So Giovanni, 15, Ali Sheikh on 21 from 22. So just 3 runs coming from that Stephen Taylor over, and he was not fortunate enough to get that wicket.
So 14 overs gone, 70 for 3. Ali Sheikh is making most of the opportunity. It's not done yet for a couple of batsmen out in the middle, and they'll relish the opportunity every time they get one to come out and perform. And so far we've seen a very good knock from Ali Sheikh, very capable batsman at the moment, but it's a long way for a win. 107 needed from 36 balls, and what essentially we might see here, another win for Cavaliers, 22 yards. But in the meantime, they'll have to get past Ali Sheikh, who has looked the part. And not only in this game, Ivor Henry, he's batted well, as Imran Ali Pasha has been given the ball, flicked into the onside. That's a lovely shot. And then going up towards the square leg area for an easy single.
Yes, tomorrow morning, I'm pleased to inform you tomorrow the cricket show will be on, and at some time between 9 and 12, they'll be taking a portion of this match. Leon Francis will be hosting that show tomorrow morning. I want to say good night to him. And again on Sunday evening, between 6 and 9 in the PM, they'll be taking a portion of this match with the usual cricket talk on a Sunday evening.
So tomorrow we'll see the final rung of some of the teams, and I'll run through the fixtures quickly as Imran Pasha runs into bowl to Jivnani, pulled into the onside, running up towards the mid-wicket boundary, and they pick up a couple of runs, and so 2 more runs to Dev. He goes up to 17, and the partnership is 34 between the two.
Yeah, it was aerial for a moment, and the wide mid-on thought he was in with a chance there, but it eluded him, and the wide long on ran to his right and prevented the boundary.
So Punjab Blues will take on Clarion County the first game at 10 o'clock, and then shortly after that US All-Stars will be in action. They had a rest day today. They will come up against Yankee Royals, and the night game will again see Cavaliers, 22 yards, and they will come up against Brampton Pacers. So still a lot of cricket left in this tournament.
Yes, this one was getting up on the batter, and the umpire making a signal was out of view. I'm not too sure if he made a signal, but that one really weighed at the batsman. And this pitch has got some life in it. This is pitch number 2, and even in this late hour, the 3rd match of the day, we still have to give Milton Taylor, the creator, a whole lot of credit.
So 75 for 3. And Imran Pasha strides in again to Dev. He can't score this time. The partnership remains at 36. And Ivor Henry, good weather is certainly on tap for the next few days. And so this tournament will really get off to the playoff stage, and then of course we head into the last 4, then the last 2, and it's the last team standing on Monday.
Yes, the curtain comes down on Monday, the grand finale, and $100,000 tournament, and it's in its 13th edition. And Lenny, you've been around for quite a long time. We can begin to name you the grandfather of the tournament. Oh, this is big. It's going to go beyond the boundary ropes, and it does. Well, we would have seen a few would have left the park, and this time he's trying to board at an effort delivery. He didn't get up as high as he would have wanted, and a swivel and a pull over the deep mid-wicket region for 6. You would have seen that on replay. A good shot. A partnership of some 42, so it's not done and dusted. They're trying at least to get to the 100 mark, Lenny.
Yes, they're playing for all it's worth, and I'm pretty sure teams would have spent a lot of money to come here, all the way from entrance fee and paying for uniform and flights, hotel and rental cars. So when you come to these tournaments, you make sure you get your money's worth, and that includes air time and certain time in the stadium. And playing time in the stadium on night with lights is not cheap.
And that is true. And you know, the city of Lauderhill and the county, the Broward County, they really love this, because every time this tournament comes into town, the revenue that is generated from this tournament is something to behold. It's in the millions, because car rental, you forgot the car rentals, and you have got to eat. So it's just not the hotels and the uniforms and the lights you're talking about there. You've got to eat. You've got to at least buy a bottle of water.
So Stephen Taylor will continue. We've got 30 balls remaining. And over time, Ivor Henry, we've seen some top teams play in this US Open. Atlanta Pioneers has not returned. Last year we saw they brought out some top guns, Chris Gale among them.
Johnson Charles.
Johnson Charles returned this year. I think he's with Clarion County. But you remember US Tigers, Sunju Patel and his crew.
Yes.
Then, of course, we've had Washington Tigers in the early days of the US Open. Dawood Ahmed and boys, Imran Awan, Steve Messiah, swung towards the long on area. Marshall comes around, makes a very good save, having dropped a catch not too long ago. And the score goes up to 82 for 3.
I know he was feeling the heat in that area because he have his Jamaican compatriots down there, Mark Stupon Johnson and the guys, they would have put the heat in him for the drop catch. So if that one would have gone past him, I don't know. There would have been an uproar. This time he's sweeping, not getting a hold of it as he would have liked, but I'm through for a single. And Lenny, like it said, I'm calling you the grandfather for 12, but do you know I have not missed one, but I'm not going to tell you how many that I would have witnessed.
So Smart Choice has always made their presence here too. They're missing this year. And some years back, the likes of Punjab Lions, also a team out of Texas, would have come to the US Open. And Somerset Cavaliers, they have returned here. They have come here several years. A couple of years, we saw the California Bears. One time we saw a team called the Atlanta Griffin. Not too sure if you remember that.
Yes. Yeah, coming out of Georgia, I remember that, of course. I've seen many moons.
And we've seen the Atlanta Fire also. This one is played into the onside. A couple of runs here for Ali Sheikh. He continues to bat well. 86. In fact, 87 for 3. And we're in the 16th over, being bowled here by Stephen Taylor.
Yes, the last two matches here was pretty much one-sided, you would say. They still need another further, 90 runs, 25 deliveries. I think it's a hard axe, if you ask me.
Yeah, starting tomorrow, some teams will certainly exit the tournament, or perhaps no chance of reaching the playoff. And with a couple of days to spare Ivor Henry, what do you suggest for the team to go Miami Beach?
Well, I think you're being very polite, but you whisper in my ears and say some teams are in the departure lounge. Trying to make an exit.
And you know the funny thing is that I've met players here, and we'll talk about that when we come back. So 16 overs gone, 88 for 3.
Okay, maybe it's time for a cup of tea, a late cup of tea. Okay. Yes, the Mad Hatter tea, and they do serve coffee as well. So, do not think you're making a trip in vain if you head to one of these stores to get your Mad Hatter, and you're just only going to drink coffee. That will be in store as well. So Ali Sheikh is on 27 from 27. Both batters on 27. Ali's doing a bit better than Dev Dinani. 27 from 30. So 16 over, and we're going to take it home. I haven't seen anybody, so hey, the perfect combination.
I'm back. And after 16 overs, the Mace Royals 88 for 3 as Pasha comes into bowl, and that is pulled away nicely, and that is going to go all the way for the boundary. And 4 runs as soon as I enter the comms box. That's exactly what the Mace Royals would have wanted. I'm here to help.
And that you would have started in the 17th over. It was a good pull shot. Maybe a little too late, maybe?
I think you're right, just too late, but still can't take anything away from the shot. Was a lovely one, and Pasha 15 so far off his 7 deliveries, so 1.1 overs. Mace Royals 92 for 3, partnership now 53, so coming along nicely, slowly but surely.
Yes, indeed. We're in the dying moments of this match. And this time he's appealing, loud appeal. He hits the outer part of the bat, but from our advantage point, it would have hit him outside the off stump. But it seems as if
leg buys. Leg buys.
Yes, leg buys calling signal. Leg by signal there by the umpire. A nod of the head saying no, it's not out. He asked a question and the umpire answered with a shake of the head, negative.
Nope, not today.
Not tomorrow.
Not ever.
And not next week.
I have been getting some enjoyable emails that people keep finishing off saying, stay positive and keep testing negative. In terms of COVID.
COVID, yes,
and
yes,
as you
yes.
say,
I like that.
keeping people positive as Pasha comes in for his third ball of the second over.
Mm.
And overthrows there. They're going to come back for 2. So Dev Jivnani stays on strike and his total moves up to 29.
Yes, it's been a good partnership, but 176. That's still a long way to be overhauled. 95 for free. They have labelled the way towards 100, but nonetheless, these two batters are enjoying their knock. 31 for Ali, and Dev is on 29.
And here comes Pasha again. Ball number 4 of his second over. Bowling to Jivnani, who looks like he's missed that altogether.
Yes, a swing and a miss, almost like a baseball hit. And now they always play the correct stroke after they would have missed what they would have done. But you can't undo what you would have done. That's a long pass. A dot goes into the scores book. 95 for free over number 17. And Sash, I expect you to get a good night's rest, and you'll come back fresh as a rose tomorrow to continue day number 6.
Exactly. We will be ready for a lot more cricket. 3 more games tomorrow here in Fort Lauderdale. And the weather, I'm sure, is going to be as good as it has been today as Pasha comes in for his 5th delivery. And that's just played back over the bowler's head. And they will get 1 from it.
Yes, well, so far so good. They've kept their scorers busy, just at 1 dot. And one last delivery. Can we see a boundary to bring up the 100? They're 1 stroke away. Your prediction?
It would be really nice if they could bring up the 100 at the end of over number 17. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Pasha's bowling fairly nicely. He's been a little bit expensive. 18 off his first 1.5 overs. 1 ball to end the 17th over. And here he comes bounding in, and it looks like he's hit that nicely, but there is a fielder out in the deep, so not the boundary we were looking for, just the singles. So Mace Royals 97 for 3 after 17 overs,
Which is indeed the latest score at the Broward County Stadium.
and Taylor back into the attack. His first ball looked like it was potentially going to go away for the boundary, but good fielding here out right in front of the commentary box. And I think they managed to get 2 off that ball. Let's watch it again. It's a nice straight bat there from Ali Sheikh. But like I say, good fielding from number 14 here on the boundary ropes. And we go again. Ball number 2 of the 18th over, and that is hit really hard. And is it going to be caught? It is. And Ali Sheikh goes for 34 of 32 deliveries. That's a good catch. Kareem Agor out there in the deep, and he didn't have to move a lot to make sure that ball stuck in his hands.
And he looked in the direction of Xavier Marshall to say, "This is how we do it."
This is how we do it.
There you go. And the previous ball, Taylor thought he was in with a chance of getting his first wicket, but at least Taylor now in the wicket column. He has gone 1 for 12 from his 2.2. And look at the catch here in the approved manner, textbook fashion.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Easy peasy.
Mace Royals 99 for 4 after 17.2 overs. And an update from Brisbane. England 296 for 9, I believe. Not looking great, I'll be honest. They are finally leading by 18 runs, but that's not going to be anywhere near enough. So it's looking like Australia are going to have a convincing win in the first test of the Ashes 2021-22.
And I think you should say in how many days? What do you say?
Sorry, I just heard some very loud cheers from behind me, which has been rather distracting. And from the commentary box, if you guys could just keep it professional, that would be really great. Thank you very much.
And when Sasha speaks, everyone listens. The lone lady in the com box and doing a really, really, really good job. I'm very, very impressed, Sasha. I know you've been getting great reviews. They've been coming in. The text been coming in on my phone, and I'm sure yours and others. We want to commend you. So we'll take this time to commend the umpires as well, especially Jermaine Lendo. He's been there doing the bulk of the work, standing over there. It's not easy, especially when the matches are going a little slow. You might tend to nod off a little bit, but he has good concentration power. Jermaine Lendo, as you can tell, he's an approved ICC umpire, and he's been accompanied by the others, and they're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah, exactly right. The umpires have been fabulous. And the 100 comes up for the Mace Royals. Valissa Magari, the new man at the crease, he gets 1 off his first delivery to put Jivnani back on strike, who is 30 off 33. And he was the one who was watching a lot of the other batsmen have a lot of ball time whilst watching it on from the non-strikers end. He's finally managed to get some balls, and he is 30, as I mentioned previously. That was a big swipe at the ball there from Taylor onto the onside down to long on, and didn't travel particularly fast to him, just the single from it. So Valissa Magari back on strike, 101 for 4, like the Dalmatians.
Yes, I was going to say, I'm hearing the backing. Bow wow, 101 Dalmatians. Oh, this one is going aerial, it's gone big, and it's gone out of here for yet another US Open maximum.
Yeah, lovely shot there from Valissa Magari. I think he has come in with the instructions that the run rate required is huge. So just play what you can, and he really played well at that ball. So as you can see, 70 to win off 13 balls. It's looking pretty unlikely that the Mace Royals are going to come back from this, but still 1 ball left of the 18th over and 2 overs following. So plenty of cricket left in the day, and that's another massive hit. But not far enough. And
and he dropped it.
It's just been dropped in the deep here by number 23. I can't quite see. Is that Xavier Marshall?
Yes, and another one has been put down there by him. So Stephen Taylor will not be enjoying this because he was just struck out of the park with the previous delivery, with the 5th delivery, and the 6th one would have gone in the wicket column for a second time in the over, but it was not to be because he was put down.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed not to have taken that catch. He was right under it and ready to take it. And I don't know if it just slipped through his fingers or whether he just totally misjudged where that ball was.
I'd find an excuse for him. He lost it in the light.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
And at the end of over number 18, Mace Royals 109 for 4, 68 to win, and 2 overs remaining. Dev Jivnani on strike. He's 31 off 34. And Valissa Magari, the man at the non-strikers end, 9 off 3. So here we go, over number 19.
Ooh.
And that came up quite high onto the batsman. And he's managed to pull that one away for a single. I think he did pretty well there, because that was a good ball from Pasha.
Yeah, he's bowling quick. That one came onto him quick, and he was ducking into it and pulling at the same time.
Yeah, definitely a non-orthodox shot, that one. But he's got away with it, and a single from it. So 110 comes up for the Mace Royals, and Valissa Magari, the man with 13 letters in his surname, comes into the attack.
Yes, we had fun with that. From the very first match he would have played.
And Pasha running in again for ball number 2 of his over, and that has been hit again, but is landing safely in between the 2 fielders, and they'll just get the single again from it.
Yes, Pasha is bowling with some passion, and I think the scouts are out looking. He must know that his agent is around. What's going on?
I think he's been run out.
He's been run out.
Well, that certainly wasn't the biggest appeal I've ever seen.
We'll have to see this again and replay. We are here saying...
We thought they were back safely there, but we are obviously wrong, and he's been given out. I think that's... Is that Dev Jivnani out?
Well, we look at it here. In the air, we thought of a catch, and he picks up and rifles in the throw. And he was just there walking around and out of his crease. And
well,
the ball was not dead, pal.
That's one of the most ridiculous ways to get out I've ever seen. But here we go, and it's happened.
He thought he was in. No, he was not in.
I have absolutely no idea what was going through his mind there. Just ambling back, but barely moving, and he's out. He's been given out. So Dev Divnani, the latest victim to the Cavaliers, goes for 32 off 35. And
nonchalantly walk back. I guess at this level, you have to know that these guys played hard every time.
Yeah.
But the Nelson is on the board. I think I need to stand on one leg.
Yes, I was about to say a Nelson is up. So unlucky for some, and I have Ivor wobbling around here on one leg next to me. So let's hope they move on to 112 or more in this ball, and they do. That's the single that they needed to prevent my companion here from falling over, and it's been a good over so far. The new man, Anukuri, I think I've pronounced that right, and Pasha 22 off 2.4 overs, so 2 left in the penultimate over. Mace rolls 112 for 5, Valissa Magari on strike.
Yes, and back to that run out again. The ball is not dead because you did not get caught out, because initially we thought the guy was trying to take the catch, but he had the presence of mind to just throw the ball back to the wicket keeper, and the wicket keeper just knocked the bails off in a flash and saying, this ball is not dead and I still need a wicket. I don't care whether you're trying to get 177 or you just need one more for the win. You've got to play hard until the end. This is a professional league.
Yeah, it was actually really poor from Dev. I can't think. So sorry. My brain is absolutely failing me. From
the last batter was run out?
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, I'm having an absolute brain fog right now. And anyway, we come back for the last ball of Pasha's 3rd over, and it will be his last over. Currently gone for 24 runs, and here he comes running in, and I think that's come off the helmet, if I'm not mistaken. Bat onto helmet, but more importantly, a dot ball.
I liked Pasha's energy. He runs in with energy. It seems as if there's another ball to be bowled. This is what the umpires are saying. So it's 114 for 5. Both umpires on the field are saying there is one more legal delivery left. So we are following the scoreboard. They got ahead of themselves, perhaps, maybe 63 for 7. 63 to get 7 deliveries in which to do so. Mathematically impossible.
So here we go for the last ball of Pasha's 3 overs, and they're gonna get a fairly simple single from it. Make sure you're in your crease, and there we have it. One more over to go. 62 for the win. Not going to happen, I'm afraid, for the Mace Royals there. 115 for 5.
No, mathematically it just cannot happen. You're not going to get more than 36 in an over, and they need 62. So what does that tell you?
It's a convincing win for the Cavaliers, who have played really nicely today. And very quickly, update from the Gabba. England all out for 297, so lead by 19 runs. And it's lunchtime, so Australia after lunch just need 20 runs for the win. And so I believe it'll probably be over within 5 or so overs. So not the most exciting first test in the Ashes. But back to the exciting game we have here. And Mace Royals 115 for 5 and go for one extra run there, so 116 for 5, 19.1 overs. Yasser Mohammed, the man with the ball, he's gone for 18 off 3.1 overs and will be bowling out here. Anu Kuri, the man on strike, and that should be a wide. It is a wide.
Yes, the googly, it went the wrong on. It started about middle and drifted down leg. Well read by the wicket keeper. That could have gone for wides, but he read it and went down the leg side and collected cleanly. Again, he swivels. Go ahead.
And they will just get the single for that as well. Man on the boundary. The bowlers are bowling really well, knowing exactly where their field are placed as they should, and making sure that when the batsmen get hold of the ball, they place it to exactly where the fielders are. So just a single again off his deliveries, and Valissa Magari will be the man to face him. Yasser Mohammed now for ball number 3.
Lights! And appealing for stumping, but I think his foot was anchored behind there. He was sweeping, swinging.
Yeah, you can see he's saying, my foot was clearly behind the line. You can see it here. But it was a big swing and a miss, so quick hands from the keeper there.
Yes, the keeping been very, very impressive. But not out, says the square leg umpire. He didn't have to call for television replay. That's umpire Jermaine Lindo.
3 balls left in this innings, and that one was looped up, and he's hit that one bounce for a 4 down to cow corner.
Extra cover.
Extra cover, my apologies. There we go again. Just the one bounce just before the boundary ropes for a 4. And Valissa Magari 18 off 9. So a 200 strike rate now. And Yasser Mohammed, 2 balls left of his 4 overs and 2 balls left of the innings. Here he comes again. And that's just dabbed down. They'll get the quick single there. So 54 to win off the final ball. As we said earlier, it is mathematically impossible. So the Cavaliers, 22 yards, have won very convincingly here. But one more ball to go. Let's see if the Mace Royals can finish with a big hit here. And he's bowled.
And he's bowled him. I like the look of Yasser Mohammed. Not because he got that wicket. I was about to say that during his over. And he looks good. He's bowling one of the hardest art of cricket. And that's the googly. Came in from outside the off stump, nicely lined, and came back. A good pitch. And there you have it. We're going to have the scorecard up for you in a minute. And Sasha will go through that for you. Scorecard, please.
Here we go. So, Vartak, the man opening for the Mace Royals, 19 of his 25 deliveries. Madani out early. He got 1 run off 4. Dev Jivnani, the man ran out by Thomas for 32. That was one of the strangest wickets we've seen in a long time. But then Nimbalka, he was 6 for off 10 balls, bowled by Kareem Agor. Ali Sheikh, also Kareem Agor involved, caught Kareem Agor, bowled Stephen Taylor for 34. Valissa Magari not out on 19. And Anu Kuri bowled by Yasser Mohammed for 2 off the last ball of their 20 overs. 10 extras, 123 for 6, all out. And moving on to the bowling, we had 1 wicket by 5 different bowlers. So Nadav Shah, Rusty Theron, Kareem Agor, Yasser Mohammed and Stephen Taylor all getting 1 wicket. None of them went for too many runs, all pretty good economies, all of them under 8.3. And the 8.3 went to Pasha, who was the only bowler not to get a wicket. And as we said, 10 extras. And it was a very convincing win by the Cavaliers, 22 yards. So good game by all. But from us here at Fort Lauderdale at the Broward County Stadium, we say good night to you on day 5. We will see you again bright and early tomorrow morning.
You'll get in trouble with Virgil Francis because you're saying Fort Lauderdale. We're coming to you from the beautiful city of Lauderhill. So, good night all. We'll be back tomorrow morning. The presentation will be had below shortly. So, just don't go away just yet. But from the Combox and live commentary, we are saying good night.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Ready? Yeah, he's signaling to you. Look, he's signaling to you. Yeah, he's just signal. Well, welcome to the post-match presentation ceremony. This is match number 15. Congratulations to the good guys from the Cavaliers. They are looking very dangerous. They are the first team to qualify for the semi-finals because they have now won all 3 matches. The man of the match is homegrown talent, Stephen Taylor. Attractive left-handed batsman. He got 20 odd today, 23 I believe in no time, and he also showed his prowess with the ball, getting a wicket, and he is our choice as a man of the match. Uba Salim from MAQ TV will present him with his award. Well, Stephen, excellent performance by the boys, 3 in 3.
Yeah, man, we're doing good right now. We're leading by a top captain. He knows his players and he's backing every one of us.
And seeing that you're into the semi-finals now, is there a chance of some of the guys taking a rest, giving others an opportunity, or you want to keep building that momentum?
No, we're here on a mission because Cavaliers been going to the finals or semi-finals and losing, and when it comes closer to the main games, they more take off the pressure. So right now we're trying to keep the pressure right through the game and just say every game is a must-win.
Congratulations, keep up the good work.
Thank you, my boss.
So Stephen Taylor, our man of the match, and if you see Stephen bat, he plays Calypso cricket. He plays for America, but he's West India. We're not going to let him go just so. That's it from us here.